Welcome to the Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, BG, Survive the Spin, FE Patriot, Thomas van der Zander, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Sea Level Cultist, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Twadwazzle, Jason Hornsby, JMels24, Unimento, Iron26, Endless, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Texas Mike, Chow Young Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand across to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
For everybody when they get that the afterlife, like the first question is like, so what would surprise me the most about the truth if I knew it when I was alive? And, like everybody immediately goes, Earth's flat.
Yeah. That is kind of one thing that you do picture. It's like, will you die, reach the pearly gates, and go, all right, well, what was all that about then? And then you get tapped on your shoulder or whatever. Something alerts you to turn around and look back. And whatever, you see your clouds and your golden escalator, whatever. But then you look back on the flat expanse of the Earth that you've just come from. Oh, wow. Where are all the planets? You know what I mean?
I was working yesterday with this guy. He was a 20-year military guy, right? We were hanging a door, we were doing some stuff, working with a square and things like that. So I had your show on, Nathan, in my pocket. And the guy that hired me for the day, he's like, what are you listening to? Because, we don't allow cell phones. So I'm using it, it's in my pocket. He said, what are you listening to? I said, I tell you, but I do not want to ruin your day. So the guy I'm working with says, why? What are you, one of those flat earthers? Now, how does that happen? So I said, well, I don't know what you want to label me. I'm just telling you that's the way it's measured. Look at the tools we're using right now. Then I brought up flight with him because he was in the military and he understands things like that. And he didn't have a word to say after that. But how do you connect that? All I said was, I don't want to ruin your day. And he was like, why? What are you, one of those flat earthers? So this is going out there.
It's obviously ruining their day too.
Well, he laughed when I said it to him. I said it's measured that way. He had a big chuckle. That's when I started showing him the tools that we're using. So how does anything work? Anything you measure has to come off a flat baseline. All the maps that you follow, all the miles that you travel.
Yeah, when you want to calculate curvature, you have to treat it as flat.
Well, I was waiting for something, but I got nothing, So he was thinking about it. The rest of the day, I assure you that.
It's not contentious. There's nothing to come back with when you state facts like that, you know?
I'm going to try and focus more and more on the fact that being a flat earther is telling people that we see too far, telling people how to calculate Earth curvature and how that isn't comporting with where I, as a flat earther, say the horizon should be. I want to point out that those arguments all assist the globe in the first instance, but in detracting or seeming to detract from the globe, having those arguments assists the globe because it's a controlled way of having the discussion take place. Because instead of discussing, like we do, Earth being measured flat, you're discussing how Earth doesn't curve.
I agree.
Yeah, you're entering the possibility of an argument to be had about the subject to begin with, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I start out with the measurements first. That's always been my shtick when it's all started. That's why I used to get on with it. What are you doing? Lay it down right at the beginning. Bam, hit him with that.
But as we make this more and more clear, as in our rhetoric in this regard, about what we formerly called the feast of nonsense, as our rhetoric becomes more concise to the person listening, the shillery becomes more glaring as people refuse to do this. So I say, you have no need to measure Earth, but for their belief, they measure Earth flat. Those are the facts. Now, if you're going to argue with them, you need to understand the ins and outs of heliocentric motion, because you're going to be having them put to you as though they're a realistic defence to them, that's the globe believers, measuring Earth flat. But so long as you can remain steadfast and focus on that fact that they, not you, require Earth to be measured flat, you can always fall back on that fact and you'll never lose. But for all the people out there that hear that rhetoric moving forward for the next, say, 12 months, 18 months, however long it takes for this to permeate the perceived to be flat Earth community, if your witsits are still talking about how much 8 inches per mile squared we should or shouldn't see, they'll reveal themselves as shills. Because ultimately speaking, the argument that we are putting forward dies the minute you start claiming you can measure Earth to suggest it's a ball, because those measurements are flat. That puts an end to there being a need to have a discussion, and understanding that means that you don't want to have a debate where there isn't a debate to be had. But up until now, that's the game, isn't it? The game is make it seem like there's a debate to be had.
Exactly. Well said. And, you still hear that constantly, Nathan. We see too far. You just go on any other server, you'll hear it all day long.
Well, can't we? We're banned from these servers, aren't we, Neil?
As a collective, yes, we are.
No, but me personally, I'm banned from these places, and so is Quantum Eraser. And the reason Quantum Eraser's banned is because he doesn't allow the discussion to take place, according to the gripes of the server operators. You're like, okay. So what you're saying is you've got a server that debates the existence of unicorns, and when someone says there isn't any, provide evidence, and none comes, that essentially does put an end to the discussion, therefore you're not welcome, because the server is about debating unicorns' existence, and you kind of making sure that there's no debate about that kind of puts a kibosh on the server itself. So get lost, we want to debate the existence of unicorns. And we want the man who's proposing them to be heard for at least 20 minutes before anybody even says anything. And then we want to hear the detractor who's telling us how we don't see enough unicorns these days. Therefore, there aren't any. He needs to be heard for 20 minutes too.
The problem is, Huey said it a long time ago, people like hearing themselves. They want to hear themselves talk. They want to feel like they're intellectuals. What is so intellectual about Earth being measured flat? That's just the way it is. That's a fact. Can't dispute it. There's
Nothing.
no need for intellect here.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, isn't it? I tried to explain this on yesterday's live show. Therein lies the problem. I remember 10 years ago when I was trying to transition into being a YouTuber full time, and I've got this amazing knowledge about Earth being flat, and I, for a day, worked inside the Tesco store that I'd been delivering groceries for. And while I'm in there, I'm working alongside somebody else. I couldn't help myself. I want to tell him. Why? Well, to feel superior. To feel like I'm giving him the secret knowledge that I had and he didn't. So they'll look up to me, the person next man in line that I'm telling this. Now, we, in modern times now, rob that from our flat earth counterparts. Yeah? There's no difference between telling people that there's a secret hidden energy in the sky and telling them that the earth is flat. If you're telling them from a position of learned knowledge or superiority, however you want to phrase that, I don't care how you phrase it, it's just to lord it over next man. We take that away when we say there's nothing special about appreciating that Earth was measured flat. Both sides do it, so who cares? Appreciating that a mile is linear, there's nothing special about you. Like the guy yesterday. Oh yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, miles are linear. Yeah, I see what you mean. Well, what's that in response to? Him saying there's nothing new. Well, no, there's nothing new. You just didn't appreciate how flat Earth must be for everything that we already use. You don't get to feel special with that, do you?
Nope.
But you just get to feel less thick when you appreciate the reality that you're actually utilising anyway. All right, so the reality I'm utilising anyway is already flat. So nothing actually changes beyond the belief in the globe that I held. So when you detach it from the actual practical application of anything with Earth as a reference, that would be flat. You're just left with your stripped bare belief in a globe. And that's all it actually ever was. So it's not that you get to feel smart about knowing that Earth's secretly measured flat. It isn't secretly measured flat. It's right there in the open. Miles are linear. You couldn't get any more basic.
Yeah, but then pi equals 2 on a flat Earth, Nathan.
That means nothing to me because that conversation that was attempted to be brought up in this forum was shut down immediately as nonsense. And what we then talked about was how Earth is measured flat. Now, that's a little bit boring. As in, it doesn't have the glitz and glamour of Ethereum free energy. But it is just how Earth is measured. Miles are very boring and just linear and flat. And that's boring. But it doesn't change how Earth is measured. Now, fundamentally, that may seem exciting when you've got a fundamentalist religious belief in a ball. Suddenly, what, the notion that that's wrong is exciting? Yeah, but it's kind of walking away from Scientology by equivalence, isn't it? You know, walking into the brave new world of what, normality, away from Scientology got nonsense. Well, that doesn't mean that the normality is suddenly super exciting. Just because you've walked away from nonsense waffle from a cult doesn't mean that the alternative has to be exciting. That's what we get asked so far. What's your explanation to Xenu? I don't have one. Well, then I'm not going to accept your non-Xenu-based reality. Far less exciting than my Xenu-based one. Right, okay. And I care because you need excitement to walk away from your cult, do you? All right. Good for you. What's that? What's the sky? I don't know. Well, if I haven't got an explanation that Star Wars can take place in, then you're not going to leave your cult. Okay, stay in your cult then. Meanwhile, miles are still measured flat, aren't they? Regardless of your feelings towards your cult that you want to stay in.
Yeah, but you don't understand, Nathan. When you leave, say you leave Scientology, they want you back. Same way with the globe, they want you back. You know, you got people telling you stop wasting your time on flat earth debate. You have a family, It's like saying, come back to the ball, come back to the ball. The difference is when people leave flat earth, I really don't care. I have no desire to go fish Patricia Steer back in, if she ever was in, or Jiren. I really don't care.
Well, they want you back until they don't want you back. So there's a limit. It's a bit like our close love and hate are related in terms of Scientology's want and desire to hold you in the fold. Once you walk away, you become a suppressive person, I think they call it. And that means that you are not only not wanted, your existing group the cult that still continues are told to keep away from you, even if they're directly related to you. So you get categorized in a different way, in the same way we get told to jump off buildings and prove gravity. Yeah? Similar sort of thing. It's like, oh, right, you don't want to be in our cult, do you? Well, then you're a suppressive person, which is projection for we want to suppress you. It's kind of like Orwellian double talk.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then like the people that do come back, they're celebrated within the cult, but then they're only brought out to humiliate whenever they're talking about the subject.
All right.
Yeah. So this person used to think it was all wrong, didn't you crazy idiots? Come here and be humiliated in front of the rest of the cult. Yeah, like Jaren and Ranty. Yeah, we know what you're for.
That's what I'm laughing about. Like, you went back for whatever reason. It doesn't really matter. It's not like you're gaining popularity. You're only useful as an idiot. As a monkey on a string. That's what you're useful for now, Jared.
Well, once South is real, then therefore glob.
But it's no different for the people who are seemingly pulling the strings. So if you look at Duffy, right, why hasn't he got what he wanted? Spent a couple of $100,000 allegedly to go to Antarctica. Well, now he needs more experiments. There needs to be more finality, more preponderance of evidence. So you're never satisfied? Or is it just the case that you have to continue regardless? Because you'll never win. You'll never prove it's bull. Because all the measurements are flat. Here's one on screen. So what do? Well, you carry on. But it just becomes more and more absurd as time progresses. And when you get to your deathbed, you're looking back on your life going, what a waste of time that was. Just to get to the pearly gates, look back and realise it's flat anyway.
Now, Duffy can stop when your channel's gone. That's why Mick would shut your channel shut, right? They will not stop until you're gone and Quantum Erase is gone. That's public enemy number one.
Sure, but
It will keep going until you cease to exist.
Go and look at the revenge arc of any character in Hollywood or any story at all, in fact. The revenge arc always ends the same way. That the vengeance comes, the bad guy who's killed the family gets, executed, sometimes in front of a crowd. But the person who's doing it doesn't feel whole and get what they want out of it. They don't get the feeling back of their family. They don't get any of that. In fact, it gets worse. The emptiness continues. Now, with our opponents, take the same stance, take the same character arc, if you will. So let's say that, metaphorically speaking, they end me. Yeah? Does that change how linear a mile is? Does that alter how the world gets measured? So it's a false desire. Their desire to end me, in their mind, ends the verbalization of their awful truth they can't face. But the awful truth they can't face doesn't dissolve with me being removed. You understand? Now, we don't have any of these demons. This is the thing, right? The thing I'm recognizing more and more, literally by the day. We don't have any of these demons, do we? Now, we feel like wronged by the people we have to deal with, but they're just people. Yeah? Duffy's just a guy. Just some guy. Right? Same with Toon, or as we mentioned him earlier, Jaren. Just a guy, some guy. Almost entirely inconsequential. Now, if you have the most influence in the world, let's say you are a Robotham of this world, is he on the tips of the tongues of the masses? Oh, hell no. Just some guy. A footnote in history, if it's told at all. Yeah? So what are you doing with your life, with this gift that you've got? Spending it worrying about whether or not I'm here? I'm not doing that. Do you think I give a crap whether or not Toon is living out his pathetic little existence chasing me down to tell me that Earth's a ball. No, I don't care. I don't give it a second thought. I mean, it makes for good content, like right this second, literally now, as I talk about it. But beyond that, it's not a concern of mine. I don't care that Toon wants to believe it's a ball, or that he wants me to believe it's a ball, or that he wants the people around us generally. We're in the same group, aren't we? As much as we may not like that, he more than I. We're in the same exact group. Yes, it's been divided, and in case of popularity, views, and therefore revenue, the group is definitely not fairly divided. But who cares? The divide, as unfair as it is financially, is more than fair mentally, right? I sleep like a baby. And the amount of people I've spoken to who have echoed the same sentiment as flat earthers to me, real flat earthers, well, those sentiments are not echoed by our opponents. They live in constant, perpetual fear of their own cognition. In my opinion, obviously I have no crystal ball, I can't see into next month's thoughts, but the way they hold themselves suggests that to me.
No, that's a fact, but that's why, listen, they have to rid themselves of you. The constant, every single day, FED comes out and we have a show every day. This has to be stopped because it's painful to them. When you understand, just, what is it? Smite the shepherd, the sheep will scatter? So that's what their goal is. They want to end Quantum Eraser and Nathan Oakley.
Sure.
You think they care about anything else?
But that's not the problem, though, is it? If your problem is the grass that's growing and you don't want to accept that it will grow, and there's sheep grazing the grass, and in your mind, if you just get rid of the sheep, the grass, you don't have to pay attention to the grass anymore because there's no sheep grazing on it. But the grass is still there. The grass is the ultimate problem, isn't it? The grass is the underlying problem, not the sheep and not the shepherd. So me saying, check it out, look at Earth, it's flat. That guy comes along and goes, get rid of that guy, he's pointing out that Earth is flat. Yeah, I am, aren't I? But if I stop pointing it out, does it alter what the world is or how the world is dealt with or how the world is measured? No. So it's like me trying to explain a revenge arc. It won't change the underlying problem, will it?
No, but Nathan, you see the grass. That's a good point. Use the grass. But if you stop watering that grass, the grass will not grow. We are the water. You are the water. Be water. Right? Stop the water from flowing. The grass will dry up and die. That's
You're just
what their
changing
hope
your
is.
metaphors. A minute ago I was a shepherd.
No, but I'm saying you use grass. Yeah, fine. But if you stop watering it, it will die. So if they could stop this water from getting out, then it'll die. That's what they want. That's what they believe.
Yeah, but they
Then
believe
all
that...
they have to do is stop the rain.
Yeah. But stopping the rain won't change the ground and how much relief it has described from a horizontal plane, surface level. I mean, that won't ever change. Me pointing it out... Think of all the people that managed to suppress Robotham. Let's say that they succeeded. They managed to turn Robotham into a child-eating monster. Yeah. Okay. So what? Did it alter what the Earth was? Did it alter how it was measured? Did it change the angles that you used to claim a ball with? None of the above was changed, regardless of anybody's impression of Robotham. Why did
Yeah,
he need
but
to...
Robotham wasn't speaking about measurements, Nathan. There's a big difference. When you're speaking about measurements, that's something that people can understand and come to a realization. But that's dangerous.
Yeah. I mean,
We're trying to talk
it is what it
about
is. I don't think that's
analogy.
dangerous. Sorry, John, go ahead.
Let's say we're trying to talk about this in analogy, and there's nothing else analogous to it, I don't think. I can't think of anything. I mean, unless there's people out there denying dogs exist.
Yeah, so let's
Yeah,
kill
but
all
the fact
the
that they got the
kennel
whole
owners.
world. Sorry, Nathan. They got the whole world deceived, though. Don't you understand? Nobody knows that. Nobody knows Earth is flat. Everybody believes it was a spinning water ball.
Yeah, everyone believes. Well, that's a belief system, isn't it? It's a religion. And over our history that we can discern from reading about our history, it would seem that over the course of the generations that have come before us, they've been kept under control with religions. Now, the fact that the current religion is heliocentrism, nobody accepts and appreciates that it's a religion. Now, we look back on the old religions and go, well, of course they're religions, but the people of the time were just expected to wholeheartedly, carte blanche, accept what the church told them. Because that's what religion, faith, belief, whatever, was deemed to be back then. It doesn't matter that you're using the word of God to do your bidding in terms of keeping the people under control, and it doesn't matter that you're using the word of creationist nonsense with heliocentric motion around the sun to do the same thing. Same objective. So the current people that don't appreciate they're in a religion are no different to the people in previous generations who didn't realise they were in a religion. It is still, just as you put it, a belief.
Right, until you get the book and you start reading for yourself what's in the book, then the religion can't hold you anymore. Then you enter into a relationship. Now, once people put it together, the book, when the book comes out, okay, we're talking about how Earth is measured. We're talking about facts here, and they can't be denied. And people will read it, and they will comprehend.
You know what's funny, Neil? Those facts you're talking about are not contentious. They know them too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's a unique situation where both parties will use the absolute facts of measurements of Earth when it comes to the discussion point. Neither will relinquish the flat Earth measurements of Earth in either argument. One will utilise the flat Earth measurements of Earth to say that Earth is a ball and that Earth isn't and couldn't be flat. The other will use the measurements of a flat Earth to create a ball to say how it can't be a ball. Those are flat earthers. We stop at the measurements and say, why are we doing anything else? We're both measuring Earth flat. That's it. That's the end of the discussion. There wasn't ever a discussion. I don't need to tell you how your ball don't work. You've just measured Earth flat to create that ball. So that's the end of the discussion. So therefore, we've started to realise and open other people's eyes, hopefully, to the fact that there is no need to argue anymore.
There was never a need to argue. We just didn't realize it. We whistled right past every time they were using the flat Earth. But not now. We're not. They want us to. Even from our own side. They want to whistle right past the flat Earth measurement they got and talk about how it don't work. Circumference don't match. Pi equals 2 on a flat Earth. That can't happen.
I mean, with flat earthers, I gave all I could, but it left me so sore.
That's one thing that was frustrating me for the longest time was when I come to the understanding that level does not curve, even in the mathematics that assert it's curving. It does not curve. There's nothing left to discuss. There's no way around it. It's just that. You know? But there is no claim you can make. There's nothing to do. This is much ado about nothing, pretty much. It's captured the world's imagination, and it's so simple. It's almost insulting to the intelligence how simple it is.
But they say it'll work out fine, and it was all a waste of time.
You're right, John, the simplicity of it, and that's what drives people crazy. They want to be intellectuals. They want to sit there and talk about how gravity don't work, how it's dielectric acceleration. No need for gravity, see? This answers the up and down.
Well, there's no need to argue anymore.
Hey Nathan.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a video I'd like you to react to. I don't know if we're able to get to you or get it today, or maybe if you can do it.
Yeah. Neil, can you liaise with Amir?
Where is it?
A.E. Mir.
Did you post it in the main text chat, sir, or did you post it? Where did you post it? That's what Neil's asking.
I couldn't get off mute. I'm trying. I posted in the main chat right now. It's the Corridor Crew. It's 1 minute in. It's the very first segment. Yeah. I want you to react to it. It's actually very surprising how this little thing turns. It's about UFOs, but it's really about their explanation.
Okay.
I want you to react to.
Definitely. That sounds good.
You know, the most fun I had doing one of these videos was doing NASA's.
Where have you put it? Have you put it in main text chat for someone to grab and put it in Teams?
Yeah, it's a main text chat.
Oh, it's in. Oh, I've got it already. Thanks, Neil.
Yeah, it starts 1 minute in. It's just the first segment, not all the whole video.
Yeah, I like dealing with the main rhetoric. Oh, pardon me.
I'm just sound checking it. You carry on.
Yeah, that's.
I just wanted to say it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, the middle of your sentence interrupted the beginning of mine. You go ahead.
No, you were actually talking before, but I just want to say that the segment was called "Racetrack UFOs," and it'll explain what racetrack UFOs is, and then it'll give their I guess you could call it their debunking of it. And
I've seen these guys. I know these guys. So these guys, they're massive for a start. 6.84 million subscribers, so they're massive. And what they do is, having worked on various different films for their special effects, obviously when that's your trade, you can pull apart how the different blue screen, green screen layers, all the different composites get put together to create the end effect. And that's what these guys, Corridor Crew, do. They take apart or dissect VFX. Very, very cool stuff. It's a similar vein to me saying, yeah, I've worked with Highwire. So when I see the guys on the space station, I just see Highwire because that's what it is. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes about it. That's what it is. If you've done it, you know because you've done it. And these guys, when they see VFX, they go, this is not an alien. This is how the layer gets made, right? Without watching it, I just know what's to come. Great choice. I'm going to really enjoy covering this.
You know, with the space, one of the things that I giggle about now is to assert space, you need length, breadth, and depth to be planar, right? Any kind of space has to be planar. You know, so when they want to talk about outer space, they need that planar geometry to hold to talk about the angles to the celestials to derive orbits with. I don't know. It's like once you see the dancing bear, you'll never stop seeing it. It's just there. So when I hear someone talk about, well, what about space? I hear length, breadth, depth. I'm like, yeah, what about it? What do I have to explain to you about length, breadth, and depth?
Okay, John, but then how do we get people to see the dancing bear? Do we even care if they see the dancing bear? Some people I do care if they see the dancing bear. How do I show them the dancing bear? Because they don't want to see it.
Well, historically, the people who point out the dancing bear tend to, by comparison, be taking away powers from the authorities that want to keep the masses under control. So as an example, my dad actually did a play about this called William Tyndale, about William Tyndale translating the Bible. Well, what do you think they did to William Tyndale when he...
They burnt him at the stake.
They did. Because he made the actual words of the Bible available to the general public. And now that's not what they want, do they? Well, if we make available to the general public the true nature of Earth, how it's utilised to create a ball, then there's a reasonable chance that maybe I'll get burnt at the stake.
Yeah, but they learned their lesson. They don't want to create any martyrs, so that's why they're going about it this way. And they'll play the end game all the way to the end.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. When he translated it, the information got out quickly because it was the age of the printing press, right? And so an inquisition began because of that printing press, not necessarily the information. It was they couldn't control the information. We're in the same rare scenario where they're having trouble controlling the information, because when we put something out there, it has ripples through the world. You know, even if it is for the Feast of Nonsense to up its game to try to say that we're talking about something else. I
Right.
worry sometimes.
Right,
Yeah,
so
we have
those...
the internet.
Hold on a second. The ripples you're describing, if you can make them as an audio comparison, right? So it's like a sound that's out there. Well, in audio terms, if you've got a sound that you don't want in a recording and it's permanently there, I'm not saying you can like go back and record over it or start afresh. It's there permanently in the recording. There's only one thing you can do to deal with that noise. And what you can do is mask the noise. So what does that mean? It means you make a louder sound than that noise. So for instance, if you've got a shitty microphone that's got a load of hiss, the background noise of the microphone can be overcome by recording something considerably louder than the hiss. Then you don't hear the hiss. Then you hear the snare. Until there's a gap when the snare's not being hit. Then you hear the hiss in the gaps in between the strikes of the snare. Well, that's where we're at. What we've got is our noise with a altered version of the noise they want to be that noise. So we're noise, we'll call it flat earth noise, but that's not good noise. That noise takes away control. It takes away a religion. Not good. There's only one reason religions are put in place. It's to keep people under control. So I'm not going to debate that in this example. But once you accept that, you then have to create a different noise to mask the noise of, check it out, Earth's just measured flat. So you create a louder noise. The noise of, we see too far. There's free energy. 9/11 was an inside job. COVID vaccines aren't good. Those conspiracy nonsense wafflers get put in place to make as much noise as possible, hopefully about seeing further than you should on a globe, and then that becomes the noise that gets heard. Now, it doesn't alter that occasionally the orchestra stops playing and you hear the metaphorical hiss of, yeah, it's still measured flat. But in the mind's eye of our opponents, you just need to make more noise and keep the noise up for as long as possible, and then no one will hear the background hiss. Make sense?
This is some great analogies this morning. Wow.
Well, that's what the talking about the passes with the bear is, right? Or let's change it
Yes,
just
there you go. Perfect analogy with visuals. Sorry to just immediately steal your analogy, but that was beautiful. The bears, the hiss. You don't want people to see the bear. You don't want people to hear the hiss. So what do? You create distractions that are louder and more visually striking than the hiss. You get people bouncing balls and counting the numbers of bounces so they don't see the bear. If you strip back the bounces and you strip back the counting, then all you've got is the bear, right? Everyone notices the bear then. So you need the bouncing balls and counting the number of passes so you don't notice the bear, so you don't hear the hiss.
But it's a little bit more interesting than that, because in this case, in our analogy, we would be the background changing color, right?
Yes.
So the anti-flat earthers would be the bear.
Yes.
The flat earthers would be passing the ball, and everyone else is trying to count the number of passes.
Correct. The general public are the people counting the passes, and the flat earthers are the people passing the ball. So when you search flat earth, you see people passing the ball. Flat earthers talking about balls and how far you see over them. Those are flat earthers, are they? So flat earthers say we see too far, do they? Yeah. And then the bear. Oh, did you not notice the bear in the background saying that there's refraction? Oh, now your attention's acutely aware to the bear because all we're going to do is make sure that you see the bear. Because in fact, the title is titled, "Can You See the Bear?" in the title, right? And we don't actually ever get a mention, but we're the background colour of the studio changing as the entire thing progresses. And that only ever gets highlighted on a different video. And that video's buried at the bottom of other videos about bears and ball passes.
So we're never going to get the public to see the dancing bear or hear the hiss. Okay, great.
Do you care? Name 5 members of the general public.
Let's get it on.
Hello.
Hello, did I hear chocolate? I heard a brotherly vibe from somebody's voice. Don't know who it was. It sounded like chocolate was here.
That was Eli, but he might think he's chocolate.
Where's Eli? Is Eli in the hangout? Hey, Eli. I don't see Eli. Somebody else who said hello. Anyway, good to have you all. Good to be here. As a helicopter goes overhead, hopefully my shotgun mic's doing a good job of rejecting that nonsense. Right at the beginning of my live show, somebody's escaped the prison that isn't nearby me. Anyway,
No, they're looking for you.
They're looking for me, are they? They want to hang me as a heretic for translating the Bible. We were talking about William Tyndale in the pre-show. Now, William Tyndale was a chap who translated the Bible for the consumption of the general populace. That is to say, up until its translation, the Bible that is, the people were controlled by the religion that the church said the Bible had within it. And to sort of quote a recent sketch that I saw about, it might be from a film, a clip from a film or a TV short story or whatever, about a couple of dudes that go back in time, a couple of brothers that go back in time and get captured and put on the cotton plants, or plantations or whatever, get to be cotton-picking black Americans as slaves. And while they're talking to their captors and trying to explain to them that they shouldn't be in this position, the captor, the slave owner, the white cracker as he'd now be described, holds the Bible up to them and tells them that he's got the right to own them. And these obviously sent back in time from the future brothers say, that's not what the Bible says. And of course they get whipped. The point being that Tyndale, upon translating the Bible, exposed the control structures that the church used by way of their version of what they said the religion of Christianity was. Now we lifting the similar veil in terms of what Earth is, according to the current religion, which is outer space and heliocentrism. This is the current, I used to say, Western world religion. May have its origins in the Western world, but the Western world has expanded into the known world, and the formerly third world countries have now been brought into the fold as underdeveloped countries or developing countries. None of that third world telling terminology anymore. I say no, sir, no. But yes, the reveal of an Earth that was always measured flat, and always will be and can only be measured flat, is the modern day equivalent of translating the Bible and showing that, well, you say the Earth is this, but in reality we just measure it flat. And the creation of a ball for you to say it's curving and the surface is curving requires us measure Earth flat also to create what's on screen now. From an equatorial or extended celestial flat plane that we measure angles to the stars with. That's how Earth is measured. That's how the ball was created. It's the metaphorical equivalent of translating the Bible to explain to the common man how a flat Earth is measured to create a ball, to be within, to pretend you're on, to project angles through to a celestial sphere that wraps around your position like a protractor. How concisely I can say it after 10 years. Burn him!
Helicopters are getting close.
You betcha. Yeah. It's one of those.
We doing a video today?
Yeah, we've got a video to cover. So we've got VFX artists from an enormous channel called Corridor Crew. And I will definitely encourage you to go and let these guys know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, as these guys are they're my kind of YouTubers, right? In the respect that these guys are proper grafters. They'd be mistaken for grafters, as in they work, right? Their craft, their work has led them to be experts in a given field. In this case, VFX, right? So they can spot VFX nonsense and then point it out where it's applied in things like, in this case, UFOs, little green men, I would assume. So I've put a link to these guys in the chat. So it's whizzing its way by now. If you are watching live, I'm not sure how many people are watching live. We've only just started a couple of minutes ago. Let's have a little look. But if you are watching, if you're amongst the 30 people watching live, please let Corridor Crew know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by Corridor Crew, or indeed by the YouTube algorithm that bots that would rather you weren't talking about Flat Earth in other highly subscribed YouTube videographers' comment sections. So, just let them know in the politest possible way at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a nice comment that just alludes that we've covered their video. And hopefully, if they were to respond to our reaction to their video, they would do the same for me. A tiny little YouTuber by comparison. And put a link to Nathan Oakley 1980 YouTube channel when discussing our reaction to their highly sought after opinion, I would say. If I was to try and debunk a ghost video, for instance, you're listening, cats. These are the guys I'd speak to, yeah? If I was looking to undermine a moon landing video, maybe that's a step too far. We'll see. Maybe that's the point of this. But this has been selected by one of our own in the Discord panel. This was selected by A.E. Mia from Discord, and that's who we have to thank for covering this video today. So yeah, let them know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Hopefully I've bought enough time for one or two of the now 32 strong audience to have popped along and let them know we are covering their video. So yeah, as I say, we'll do that now. Is there anything that anybody wants to say in preparation to me clicking the play button so that it's not immediately interrupted the moment I start it? Maybe
How many followers?
6.84 million.
Wow.
Anything else? No? Well then, without further ado.
This looks like it's taken out of the window of an airplane. Yeah. Like, oh, what the?
It's three distinct
Wait, what the?
lights.
As professionals, is this authentic footage or is this manipulated footage?
I mean, that's not for us to assess. I mean, this is going to be assessed by them based on their VFX expertise. Obviously, the parallel that we will see shortly, hopefully, will be explained.
This appears to be in camera.
Why is that?
There's a few various clues, like the micro shakes of the camera, so the dots and the wing kind of move at the same time. Secondly, the camera goes out of focus on both the dots and the wing at the same time. Those are two artifacts that you would have to intentionally replicate, adding that in. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest, as soon as he said it, it seemed obvious. As he was saying it, I could see it, but that's more likely than not simply because he's saying it, rather than I'm watching it upon second viewing, I'm seeing what he's saying. But I'm sure you as the audience are seeing what he's saying as he's saying it, and nobody would disagree.
Manually. Are we looking at internal reflections of the airplane window?
Again, John?
Nathan, he talked about the wing, and you know, the wing has a pitch with respect to horizontal. Horizontal is a concept that could only be used with a flat Earth. Are you taking that into account when you look at your videos, sir?
So my compadre on my G+ panel is asking the corridor crew if they appreciate, thank you, John, that the journey that's being taken by this traveller as he films or doesn't, we'll find out shortly, I'm sure, is with respect to a horizontal plane of reference. Maybe they are unfamiliar with the term level flight. If they were to look at, say, black box data of an aircraft, they'd appreciate that the wing, in terms of how much lift it can provide, can be described with the pitch of the aircraft, and the pitch of the aircraft is described with respect to a horizontal plane of reference. That's surface level or sea level. So you're asking them if they're aware of the lift effect and how that would ultimately require a flat Earth surface level measured from sea level to describe this plane remaining in flight. Is that what your question was, just to be clear?
Yeah, along those lines. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good enough.
You do see internal reflections of the airplane window, which is the big blue and kind of white spots that happen in the top left of the screen right there. So your instinct of looking for internal reflections or reflections through windows, especially like doubled ones, is smart. But for those reflections to work, they either need to be moving in exact opposite of each other, like you're around a pivot point, mirroring around a pivot point, or moving exactly together. And in this case, their size and shape is changing. One of the things that strikes me about this not being CGI is how much of the screen is just in darkness. So if you were trying to track these dots into real footage, you would have nothing to track and you'd have to do it all by hand. And you would...
Any comment? Again, as he's pointing this stuff out, it seems so obvious with an expert pointing it out, right? Yeah, that makes sense.
Inevitably get some weird jitter, but I'm not seeing any weird motion whatsoever. So let's put a pin in this one. Part of the same family of sightings is the flying disc. And this is a sighting from Jalisco, Mexico. What?
I don't really understand. So maybe at this point, AE, can you tell us why we're covering this?
Well, right now they're going through what they're seeing, but as soon I want you to respond to their when it comes to their debunking. You'll see this as soon as they'll explain this. Right now, you can if you want to forward like half a minute there, but they're going to respond to explain this data, and that was pertinent to what you do.
Okay.
And
so
somebody
play on a little bit more.
Yep.
What the heck?
Yeah, it looked at first like it was rotating, but I think it's just like a linear trajectory of some kind.
Well, let's take another look here, because this is a multiple sighting phenomenon.
Is it rotating or is it moving in a direction and just like fading off, tapering off? You're showing these together. Are you saying these are the same type of phenomena?
I mean, I know this isn't what probably you want me to react to, but as we're looking at it, and they're talking about these UFOs, I mean, what of them? When people see this stuff, you're like, okay, so because you don't know what that light is, why would that mean it suddenly has any significance at all? Like, so what? There's lights in the sky. Yeah, we've got craft that can fly. This isn't really that fascinating to me. But for the fact that there's a suggestion that there's a sky vacuum with little green men coming from it, nothing that we see in the sky would be that interesting, given that we know that we can fly and put lights, artificial ones, into the sky.
These are actually all racetrack UFOs.
What do you mean by racetrack UFOs? I still haven't gotten an answer on what that means.
I'll give you an answer once you figure out what the heck we're looking at.
Oh, we're looking at cars going around a racetrack, except they're in the sky.
Oh, dude, it's a mountain. It's just dark. They're coming around the corner. I say that jokingly, but that'd be really cool if that worked out.
I honestly...
Wait a minute, is that right?
I think
No.
you might be on.
Okay, so how much longer do we need? AE, Mia? Another minute or so, maybe?
Oh,
Yeah, they're still explaining it. There's a little bit
All right,
more
here's another
explaining there, but
See, they're called racetrack UFOs because pilots are the ones who often report seeing these, and it's like they're racing in circular patterns on the horizon. The time at which all these videos are taken is basically the same Most pilots report seeing this at dawn flying to the east.
Those are just airplanes.
So not airplanes.
Okay, I mean, east is a flat Earth only direction. Might as well just point that out here.
Those are definitely not airplanes. So a racetrack UFO is another way of describing a satellite when it's catching the sun from behind the horizon.
Definitely not. So this nonsensical explanation that requires sky vacuums and tin cans floating around in orbital motion is a bastardization of flat Earth elevation angle measurements to lights in the sky. So to appeal to this means that if you have a fundamental understanding of what creates this now reified CGI, lads, aren't you a CGI show? Are you justifying how or in this case, I don't know what the conclusion's going to be, but potentially CGI, some of the videos you critique are, by throwing up a CGI second law of thermodynamics violation? Let me explain. Number one, I, without any CGI expertise whatsoever, can tell you without question that this is CGI. How do I know? Is it because I can spot the layers? No. Is it because I know what DaVinci Resolve can do? That's probably an audio program. Whatever the video equivalent is, if it is an audio program. But I don't need to know Photoshop is my point, right? What do I need to know to tell you unequivocally that this is CGI? Well, a couple of things. Number one, this area is in the rhetoric of heliocentrism, a 10 to the minus 17 torr sky vacuum. Now, based on the laws of nature that govern how gas behaves, gas, that's unbonded particles of gas, move at high velocity in all directions and spread out until they collide with either another gas particle, an object in their path, or ultimately the walls of their containment. Now, if there is no containment, that would be kind of like pretending that the laws of nature that govern how gas behaves do not apply to this gas I'm waving my mouse over. If we pretend that this is gas that you and I are all breathing, that would be high pressure gas, then all of this gas moving in high velocity in all directions would want to spread out into the available volume. Now, this law of nature is called entropy, described by the second law of thermodynamics. In this case, the law would describe how high pressure gas goes to a low pressure area of volume. Now, this violation of natural law, CGI imagery, violates those natural laws that apply always to our physical reality. In physical reality, gas fills space. So if this was real, as opposed to the definitely CGI imagery that it is, then nobody who is claimed to be on these land masses would have any gas to breathe, because all of this claimed to be thin layer of high pressure gas would, by way of entropic dispersion, described with a law of nature, second law of thermodynamics, if I could say the word, would spread out into this available volume claimed to be 10 to the minus 17 torr, where satellites with nice pretty reflections reside. Now, while this lovely reflection of the ball beneath is suggested to be real with CGI, unfortunately, the area this claimed to be tin can moving in an orbital motion that is mathematically derived from flat Earth angle measurements to the lights in the sky, depicted here like this is the sun, would mean that, number one, we wouldn't have a claim to be bending horizon, axiomatically deviating from the horizontal plane of reference that all horizontals must lie within if describing an actual horizon, and the violation of the second law of thermodynamics that would be the high pressure gas not expanding into a 10 to the minus 17 torr claim to be sky vacuum. So I don't need any CGI expertise to pull apart this VFX being appealed to by the show hosts. So what gives, lads? When you're pulling apart claim to be CGI or saying that it isn't CGI, your appeal is to a fanciful area like Narnia? Should I throw up a few pictures of wardrobes and then appeal to an area where sun and snow and different seasons can coexist as my proof of that? Because in Narnia, throw up some CGI of Narnia, like this, yeah? Is this what you're appealing to, lads? No. You see, someone like me with even less expertise than you can come along and debunk you based on knowing that this is CGI. So I undermine you, which is probably why I'm being asked to respond to this. Because without any VFX expertise, I can debunk you and say unequivocally, like I can place £1 million bet with the gentleman in this video and say, I bet you £1 million with absolutely no expertise whatsoever that this is CGI. How do I know? Second law of thermodynamics violation. Gas fills space. This gas would fill this space. What, you lads think that people are living down here in your CGI? You know it's CGI, and you would not take that bet for £1 million, would you? I say with absolutely no CGI expertise whatsoever, I wager everything I own, every last penny I own, I'll wager that this is CGI, with not a single day's training or a single day's expertise in CGI. I'll bet it all. I'll bet the farm that this is CGI. I'll bet it with the VFX experts. And I'm willing that these guys are probably rich enough to not care. But let them know. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me to tell you that he's bet every single thing he owns that this that you've appealed to is CGI. And he's not a CGI expert. He's not had a day's training. You can check. Yeah? You can go through my history. Performing arts, acting, technical theatre, about as close as I get to this, painting backdrops like they used in the moon landing. I'll call them out with expert knowledge to back the fact that the moon landing was filmed with a canvas backdrop they painted. Because I've painted them. So I'll appeal to my own expert knowledge in painting backdrops, like the ones used for the moon landings. But I'll still bet the farm that this is CGI, because it is, because it violates a law of nature. Now, this is like I was explaining to the guys yesterday, when they were saying you need to worry about being able to explain latitude and longitude in a way that's digestible to the audience. No. I've got something that supersedes knowledge when it comes to things like gas pressure and the law known as the second law of thermodynamics. I don't need a great understanding of the texts to repeat the second law of thermodynamics verbatim. I just need to know one thing. Gas fills space. It's called entropic dispersion, and it debunks this as CGI. But this isn't the moon landing, so I definitely don't have any expertise. There is no backdrop. Yeah? Having painted backdrops like the ones used in the moon landing, I can say that without any CGI expertise, that this doesn't use a backdrop. But I'll bet the farm that what they're appealing to is CGI based on the fact it violates the law of nature. I'll bet everything I own on it, because it's a fact.
Also, at the point that you identify a UFO as a satellite, you made a positive claim, sir. It was unidentified flying object, not satellite. Nathan has debunked satellites. So it's back to unidentified at best.
Exact angle where it glints.
Oh, we're going to have to rewind that.
Did I hear the magic word?
I think we did, Neil. Oh, dear, Curly. You just said the magic word.
There is one thing, though, on that topic that you were talking about, though.
Go ahead.
The Glober will say that it's the gravity that's holding those gases down.
Gases aren't going down.
Like, preventing it from leaving this Earth to go to space.
There is no
Downward
space.
direction.
Space would be an area that volume, the gas could fill if it expands in all directions, which it does. It's a law of nature. So it doesn't overcome what I've said. I mean, you can stick your head in the sand and say, like my head in these sands, gas goes down. And gravity causes the gas to go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash. But when a baller says that to me, I just direct them to point their head towards the sky and look at a cloud. Gas isn't doing that. Gas expands in all directions.
Also, length, breadth, and depth is space. Now you're asserting that gas is held down. Its altitude is being kept close to the surface of Earth. You're describing a flat Earth the entire time. You're giving a downwards vector with respect to an inertial plane if you're describing a force of down, which doesn't make sense on its face. You don't have gravity. Gravity is a pipe dream. It's a delusion you feed yourself.
Well, I thought you were going to take one step back from it. You don't have down. But your baller saying gas
Exactly.
go down, go boom, boom. Now, funny that was for the last 5 years. Gas go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash. No, it doesn't. It expands in all directions. That's the point of that. But if you take it one step back, it's a bit like saying, no, we can't give him the black swan anymore. There's just too many concessions for me to tolerate it. It's too disgusting a taste left in my mouth, unfortunately for me. Now, you might like the black swan. I mean, it is pretty old now. It's not like I'm, poo-pooing it on its first day or anything. But you do have to just, in my humble opinion, give the baller just too many concessions for my liking. Now, in this case, one concession, gas go what? Gas go what, Neil?
He should have said gas.
You're not
is
playing
pulled
with me
in,
then.
because
Gas
you
go
can't say
what?
Down.
Down? What's down? What's down, Neil?
Down is the direction that you need a flat plane for.
You mean perpendicular
There's
to a
no
horizontal
down
plane of
above.
reference if you're going to just start talking about things like gravity? All right, what's gravity? Perpendicular to a plane of reference, the down at 9.8 meters per second if you're going to assert what things do in a vacuum, according to Newton? That's going to be a problem given that it's 110 years out of date and that gases aren't behaving in those ways. Gases aren't going down. They're not solids. But you need a flat plane.
Right.
Go ahead, John.
Yes, that's exactly it. You can't go to a law of gravitation to describe a force because you don't have it as a law. Gas is expanding in all directions, defying what you say is a law. So you don't have no law of gravity. The assertion that there's a downwards vector for gas to follow requires Earth to be flat to assert it. What on earth could you possibly think that's going to help you to say gravity?
Yeah. Unless you're going to acknowledge a horizontal plane of reference, you're going to be weighing things perpendicular to when describing a gas that you can't weigh. It's outside of the convention of downward or parallel or perpendicular or any of these axioms that you can have something move in a downward orientation perpendicular to a plane of reference to describe weight with. All right, how much did your fart weigh? As it spread out throughout the house, letting everybody know how dirty and stinky you were. Was that gas go down, go boom, boom with gravity? No, I'm thinking not, sir. So you can debunk them with a fart, is my answer to that.
I want to get back to the magic word that guy just said.
Say again, Neil.
I want to get back to the magic word that guy said in the video.
Well, angle?
I heard angle.
I heard angle too.
Airplanes. So a racetrack UFO is another way of describing a satellite when it's catching the sun from behind the horizon at that exact angle where it glints and then shines a light to a viewer as they're standing on the Earth. And we can.
Yeah, if you're going to describe any angular relationship from the sky to Earth, you'll need a horizontal plane of reference to describe any angular relationship with, bar none. You ball Earth, this nonsense garbage that you got up on screen while you were saying these words, yeah, that definitely doesn't count, because that's not going to give you a horizontal plane of reference to describe anything angular with respect to, because it has no angular relationship to describe it from.
And would you mind turning on the flashlight on your phone?
Of course.
And putting it, say, on that chair? You think of like a Starlink satellite, a lot of them oriented facing the Earth. And as it's coming over the Earth, and I'll see if I can ping you with a glint. Can I get you with a glint? So as they come over the Earth, they go, shwing. I don't know if I got it. There's an exact angle where if you stand on the planet, that little...
No, you don't get to describe angles with respect to a planet. Yeah? Do you not know what an angle is, sir? I mean, it seems pathetic that somebody with 6.84 million would be describing how an angle works with respect to something spherical. No. If you're going to describe an angular relationship, you need it to be terminating at a vertex point. That thing that's terminating at a vertex point would be two straight lines. If one of them is being formed with the horizon, then you're not describing anything in an angular terminology if what the ground represents is a curved surface. Then you don't have any angle descriptions to describe at all, ever.
Flat satellite will perfectly capture the sun and glint it off that satellite and right into your eye, and it's a very small area of focus, which leads to the satellite going dark, very bright, and then going dark again. The reason pilots report seeing it to the east when they're flying to the east.
No, definitely not. So again, back to the original debunking. If it's a satellite, then it resides in a second law of thermodynamics violation sky vacuum in an orbital motion. The orbital motion is derived from flat Earth elevation angle measurements of the stars and sun, specifically Polaris to create the system, and then you can derive orbital motion from those measurements. Now, the derivation of orbital motion, that would be the path you're suggesting that these satellites, in quotes, are flying around the Earth with, violates the base principle measurement of Earth to create that description of an orbital path that a satellite would be in. So it may not be the case that this gentleman is explicitly and overtly describing orbital motion. He's just used one word, satellite. Unfortunately for him, his ignorance of orbital motion that satellite necessitates is his downfall, because it requires a planar surface be measured to mathematize into existence the satellite's orbital path.
It's because as the sun is rising, those little satellites are coming over the...
Sun is rising is the same rhetorical language. I wish I'd just played that before our last pause because I wouldn't have to repeat myself. This rhetorical language of the sun rising is their description, which would be measured with an angular relationship with respect to the horizon. That's what the sunrise can be attributed to mathematically. An angle measured off a plane. But in terms of their rhetorical language that they have just utilised in connection with the last sentence, it puts the sun in motion from your perceived vantage point on a turning Earth, with you, the Earth, now in orbital motion around the sun. Now, all of this is rhetorical language, but it's unfortunate for them, without any expert knowledge in heliocentrism, that they've inadvertently appealed to these motions, that leaves them in a sticky wicket where they're having their claimed explanation for it debunked by a total VFX layman. That would be me. Because I can say these gentlemen are wrong, because their ascribed motion would be orbital. An orbital motion is a bastardization of the origin measurement of a flat Earth, meaning that you can't suggest that things move in a cyclical orbital motion when the motion's been derived from the flat plane linear measurements of angles that we actually measure to create orbital motion in the first instance. So no, it's definitely not a satellite, it's definitely not in a sky vacuum, and the sun definitely isn't coming up in this rhetorical fashion that's being described and attributed to orbital motion as per their CGI I bet the farm on. Good video, by the way, good choice. And now we've finally got there, Amir. I see exactly why you wanted us to cover this.
The horizon of the planet, catching that little glint, moving.
Again, I paused the video 2 seconds sooner than I should have done. He said it, planet. There you go.
Out of the way.
Okay, which means going back to the first example.
It means that everything you've said is wrong. I've debunked you. 6 point whatever million, me, little old me, completely debunked everything you've just said. Ripped it to shreds. And I based what I described on the facts of Earth measurements. That's elevation angle measurements to the stars, specifically Polaris for latitude, and linear distance measurements, and orbital motion being derived from those flat Earth angle measurements. Your sky vacuum being a violation of the natural law we call entropic dispersion, or the second law of thermodynamics. So based on facts, I've debunked these CGI experts. Didn't even need any expertise in VFX. Just needed to know how gas disperses and Earth gets measured. Because with those two facts, I could debunk their appeal to imagery as CGI and their claimed motion of the lights they're describing as being heliocentric orbital and a derivation of the flat Earth measurements of angles. Debunked, gentlemen, so no. My name's Nathan Oakley. If you do a response video into me absolutely ripping apart your nonsense waffle that is incorrect, be sure to put a link to my video at Nathan Oakley 1980.
It looks like they're just rotating. They actually are going in a line because they're literally this constellation of like a dozen or so satellites in a line, and they're going through that small zone where they're reflecting light one after another.
No, they're not. No, we haven't got any lions in Narnia. There aren't any journeys through wardrobes, and there are no traversions of high-pressure gas not filling sky vacuums where satellites move in an orbital motion, gentlemen. You are wrong.
There's a couple of really interesting things in these different viewings.
One of the great challenges in this world is knowing enough about a subject to think you're right.
When I say Earth is measured flat, that's not me thinking I know enough about a subject to think I'm right. That is me simply stating an absolute fact. It's why I can have the supreme confidence I have to bet the farm on statements of fact when it comes to natural laws. Knowing a natural law isn't thinking I've got enough knowledge to get by like Neil deGrasse Tyson implies in this advert. Yeah? I know Earth is measured flat, and all you as an audience member need to do to verify that is go and check any Earth measurement ever. I know gas fills space because it's not a belief I hold that I can get by with. It's a law of nature. Coincidentally, a law of nature that debunks Neil deGrasse Tyson's religious rhetoric of a sky vacuum that the high-pressure gas we're all breathing doesn't fill. In violation of the known facts we call laws of nature.
First, let's talk about the spinning disc one. First things first, if you actually spin a disc and you have points on the edge of that disc, the points will appear to get closer together at the sides of that disc when you have perspective coming into play. But
what coming into play? Perspective? Oh dear. You're going to need a flat Earth for that. Now, we had a guy, his name was Conspiracy Cats, and he ran a channel where he pretended to debunk people like us, flat earthers. The problem he had was twofold. The first problem he had was you can't have gas pressure without a container, and as a high school science teacher, he understood implicitly in the, and I kid you not, again, this is not an exaggeration, it's not like Creaky Blinder saying I've said it hundreds of times. I told Conspiracy Cats no less than 125 times as he stalked me just like Toon stalks me in my comments, that you can't have gas pressure without a container. The gas would fill the space. Now that sent that gentleman nuts progressively over time. Conspiracy Cats slowly going nuts as he couldn't address this fact. Because it's a law of nature. Unlike Tyson's suggestions that some people can get by. Yeah, these are facts described with laws of nature that you can't overcome if you've got a sky vacuum belief. You know, the one that I just debunked these guys, Corridor Crew, in terms of where they suggested the orbital motion of a satellite would be. Yeah, Katz had the same problem. But then he was pushed over the edge of sanity by perspective, and I'll quote him. "I'll give you a flat earth for that," end quote. When talking about perspective. So if you guys want to describe the perspective of these lights in the distance, then you need to sink to your knees in acknowledgement of the flat earth measurement. There's that word again. Yeah? Notice how this isn't my belief or getting by. It's my absolute supreme confidence that if Earth's ever getting measured, it's getting measured flat. And what do you know? Here we are with discussions about how we could measure these lights in terms of their perspective. What's that? I can hear conspiracy cats in the distance. "I'll give you a flat Earth for that." You're damn right you will. You'll need a flat Earth for it. Because Earth's getting measured, isn't it? In terms of the perspective. So Earth will be measured flat. For this perspective in this description here.
In this case, a spinning disk, all the lights stay evenly spaced apart as they come in and out of the light, so it's not a spinning disk. It's actually satellites moving in a line. And those
Oh, really? What, in an orbital motion in a sky vacuum in an area of volume that gas isn't filling in violation of the second law of thermodynamics? When describing the angular relationships that you infer that you haven't got a perspective situation. Did you realise that in your heliocentric motion and inferences of ball Earth horizons for suns to rise over, there is no perspective in those descriptions? How can you appeal to it not being perspective when your glorified ball Earth religion with suns rising over horizons has no perspective to appeal to? Can you not hear him in the distance? That'll be conspiracy cats. "I'll give you a flat Earth for that." Yeah, you will, yeah. Yeah, there is no perspective in a ball Earth heliocentric motion with orbits for satellites. What are you talking about, lads? You guys can't appeal to perspective for this. God, how ignorant can we be? Is that enough, by the way? Have we covered enough to your satisfaction, A.E. Mia?
Oh no, the best is coming. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to say anything.
satellites are all oriented the same way, and they're all catching that little brief glint of sun. Now remember,
Right, satellites are all orientated the same way? Yeah, orientation will require a flat Earth to describe its orientation with respect to Earth. Again, because we're describing things and how they'll get measured and described in terms of their orientation will be required to be a flat Earth, because there's no other way to describe this. So, lads, it's nice that you're here, being thrown on your knees without you realising it, in acknowledgement of the flat Earth that you keep needing to use.
remember, the sun's not shining on a little specific spot. The sun is shining on everything, right? They're just angled in a way where that reflection lines up to your eyeball for only...
No. See, notice how in this stupid, batshit insane world, we've got a giant sun that bears no relation in terms of its physicality or size to the Earth or non-perspective scaled satellite. Or, just noticed, aeroplane. Yeah, that's because there's no perspective in this world. Yeah, you don't need, but this isn't perspective for you, lads. You debunked it by saying the lights should get closer together and then you're presenting an orthographic view. Do you not understand the views you're using? Yeah, this is basic stuff. This is not a perspective view. You appealed to the lack of perspective. Was that so that you could go to this orthographic world of heliocentric motion? You see, the problem with this, lads, is that the angles you're describing don't comport with the angle measurements used to create the ball in your diagram. I don't think I need to point out that this is also CGI. I'm not going to bet the farm on this one. Yeah? I think we all know this one's CGI, don't we, lads? Yeah? Yeah, this definitely is CGI, but you're appealing to this again because you don't seem to have any pictures of the satellites in this space vacuum that you're appealing to. Yeah, you never will. Yeah, it's a violation of natural law, yeah? You're going to take that bet with me that the other one's not CGI? Because that one seemed a little bit more real now, didn't it? But yeah, here I am betting the farm that that's not real. CGI, yeah? VFX, yeah? Yeah, so's this. Just a little bit more egregious with its nonsense that won't give you descriptions of angles. Yeah, you describe the angle to the satellite and the sun? Yeah, this perspective won't fly in an orthographic view.
Only that brief moment of time, just like I demonstrated with my phone here.
A brief moment in time for you is a bending and warping fourth dimension invented by a man named Einstein. Why are you appealing to time? Is there a bent warping space-time dimension in this CGI, VFX nonsense waffle that you're appealing to? For an orbital motion that you haven't in any way proven or verified? When you suggest that the angles that could only be with respect to a flat plane are the reason that you know it's in an orbital motion in a sky vacuum? My God, gentlemen, there's no reason whatsoever for you to have these 6 million odd subscribers, is there? I mean, you're complete idiots. Why are you using CGI as your appeal? Don't you feel rather stupid? Aren't you supposed to be debunking this sort of nonsense? Isn't that your forte? What's this? This is what you're appealing to, gentlemen. Oh, dear. Did you not have anything better? Aren't you VFX experts? Could you not have provided something a bit more realistic to appeal to as a realistic explanation of how reality works? Wouldn't it be better to just give it us as a reality-based explanation? Couldn't you have filmed this? Oh, what? You can't get out into the sky vacuum, right? No, you can't. That's right. It's a violation of natural law. There is no sky vacuum. There's no trips to the moon. There's no orbital motion. That violates the measurements of a flat Earth that we use to create that maths.
Now, what you are seeing here is 3 different satellites moving in 3.
No. Everything I own. Yeah? My channel, everything. I'll even bet my kids.
3 different directions, and it's just by chance
That's crazy.
that they happen to all catch the light, be oriented the same way, and make a little triangle.
That is crazy timing.
And here's proof. So Mick West has built this tool called...
You're gonna appeal to Mick West's computer program? Gentlemen, do you now know the difference, having worked in VFX, between reality and computer-generated imagery? Because it seems like you're appealing to Mick West's software for a globe to suggest orbital motion. Now, call me shocked, but wouldn't it be more prudent of you to actually appeal to physical reality rather than Mick West? You see, Mick West's quite an interesting character. I had him over a barrel when he tried to justify his physical reality measurements for the R value used in his programming. And he basically admitted, it's just made up. We just assume it. He's got no proof in reality. I personally had Mick West over a barrel spanking his pathetic lying arse over the assumption of an R value used in this program you're appealing to, gentlemen. Maybe you weren't aware of me because I get so heavily suppressed in the YouTube algorithm. But this numpty dick that you're appealing to called Mick West has had his arse handed to him in regards to the R value assumption that he would need to make in order to make this practical demonstration of reality a reality. No, it definitely isn't reality though, is it? It uses an assumptive R value. We've later found out that R value actually comes from measuring a flat Earth, superseding the need to humiliate Mick West's assumption of an R value that I got out of him about 8 years ago. Yeah, he just assumes the value for the maths for this model. Total assumption, he just assumes it. Yeah, that's what I got out of him. Yeah,
Also,
lying shitbag. Go ahead, John.
If you look at his advanced calculator, he uses eye level as a horizontal plane of reference.
Yeah, Mick West's curve calculator uses surface level. It's a starting point for the measurements. If you're going to infer distance to geometric horizons, as Mick West does in his Begging the Question, Proof of Nothing, Perspective Hijacking Earth Curve Calculator, then you will absolutely, without question, require you measure surface level. It's labelled surface level. Again, just to refer to Neil deGrasse Tyson in terms of his suggestion that you can just get by with things that you think might be true. When I appeal to Mick West and how Earth will always be measured flat, I just point out surface level and how you'll require you measure your height off surface level for a parallel eye level 4. Begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking, Earth curve mathematics to function at all. Ergo, when I say Earth is measured flat, I'm telling you how you require that to be the case. In this instance, Mick West's utilisation of surface level measurements. And what's that I hear them say? No, surface level actually bends. No, we're deriving dip angles to a geometric orthographic position below surface level, marked with an X and labelled horizon, that can only be derived if your measured height off a flat Earth has a parallel eye level. It's necessitated that the surface level is flat. And it's the starting point for all measurements of Earth. So when I say, with supreme confidence, Earth is measured flat, it's one of those things that I can instinctually bet the farm on a flat Earth without having any knowledge or measurements under my belt, because that's how you require Earth be measured, and how Earth is always measured. That's flat.
Sit rec, where you can position yourself and you can see the satellites in a live flight pattern.
Sorry, is this live? My men, are you mental? Do you not know the difference between opening your frickin' eyeballs and looking out of a window and this from Mick West? Do you think this is a live view? Listen to your own stupid, nonsensical words that you're saying, and look at what's on screen as VFX experts, and use those words again without me vomiting. Live view? Live view? Live view? Do you know what live means, like derived from living? Is this what you think live is, gentlemen? Expunge yourself from the community of VFX experts if you're going to call this a live view.
Creating the moment that you've seen.
That's cool.
Oh, are we? Is that what VFX is pretending to do? Pretending to create a moment that we've seen? No, we didn't see it. We saw Mick West's computer program, you batshit insane morons.
For all these racetrack UFO sightings.
Whoa.
So there's the triangle happening in the bottom right corner.
Oh, well, this proves it then. Now I've seen the real thing live in Mick West's program. Yeah, did I mention that I debunked Mick West about 8 years ago? Live. That's to say he was talking to me live, in person. It wasn't a CGI rendering of what a computer thinks Mick West looks like when he explained to an audience, my audience, that he assumes our values in his programs. He hasn't measured them, he assumes them. Yeah, it wasn't him represented by a little model in a computer. It was him telling me live. Does this look live, gentlemen? Call yourselves VFX experts? What are you doing? Oh, of course. Why am I getting so angry? I forgot. This affirms their heliocentric globe-based religion. So all expert knowledge that they possess is immediately thrown out of the window if you're trying to confirm that the Earth's a sphere and satellites move in orbital motion. Then, debunking VFX, no, this is a live view.
There's the position where it was filmed, and there's the video in the top right corner.
And so we're seeing when they would actually be catching light.
Mm-hmm. So those flares that you see there, like the big fuzzy balls getting bigger, is the actual program showing you when most of the glint will be.
Is it the actual program? No, is it the actual program showing me? No way. So when you next rip apart a VFX program, shall I just take what you say and say, no, it's the actual program showing it us? Sorry, does that mean it's proven then, if it's the actual program? You bunch of clowns. Listen to yourselves. How hilarious you become, affirming that which is suggested not to be VFX with this. Oh, well then, this is obviously proven. What a bunch of idiots. Is that it? Is there any more? A.E. Mia?
Sorry, that was the the main thing. I know they just saw Mick West shows up a little bit, and just a little bit, but you covered it. You hit it out of the park, like I said.
Okay, I couldn't find the Mick West bit just by scanning through, but yeah, jolly good. I see why you got us to cover it now. It always becomes clear towards the end of the video, never in the build-up. I mean, sometimes it does, but you know what I mean. Brilliant choice. Right, so let's just appeal to my audience to let Corridor Crew know. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get eradicated by the YouTube censor bots, or indeed the videographers themselves when going through their comments. So I have put a link to Corridor Crew in my live stream chat for the 77 people that are watching currently. So, peak viewers aside, there is currently I keep saying 100 because I'm looking at the peak number. There is currently 77 people watching the show. So if you are currently watching this show, please go and check out Corridor Crew's original video, the title of which is VFX Artists Debunk Real UFO Sighting Videos with real CGI. I mean, this is the real program after all. So, I mean, it is the real program that they're appealing to. Oh my God. Himsake says for 1999. You hit this out of the park. Thanks, sir. Oh, thank you. Really appreciate the super chat there. Thank you very much, Himsake. Thank you for the super chat. Any reactions from my panel?
No, but the chat is going crazy. There's a guy in here claiming you don't need a container for gas.
To have existent gas pressure, yes, you absolutely require containment. Without the containment in the first instance, there is no pressure. If you have existing gas pressure, like with my flatulence example, you can disperse gas throughout existing gas that's under containment. Now, is that to say that once the flatulence has departed from my containment, that I could say, well, look, that flatulence has no containment? No, it's dispersed from its containment and is now spreading out throughout existing gas pressure. So where did we acquire said existing gas pressure from? Well, that would be, as per the definition of gas pressure, the force exerted on the walls of the container.
Right, I keep telling him all your examples are taking place in existing gas pressure. He claims that it's a magnetic containment. It works by directing and reducing impulse in specific directions. So we have a magnetic container now.
Right, if you suggest that the magnetism of the container that he infers is what? Pulling gas, go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash. No, gas doesn't behave like that, right? Gas expands in all directions. Now, the only thing that impedes the direction of a gas particle is another gas particle, so it might collide with another gas particle. An object, so let's say it comes out of the ground, moves up, and then hits a tree. Well, change its direction, all right. Now, is the tree a container? Nope. Will gases that collide with parts of the tree change their orientation with elastic collisions? Yup. However, in all instances, without exception, regardless of if you're colliding with other gas particles or other objects that are in your path, at some point, your trajectory will be continuous until you collide with the walls of the container. Now, if you imagine, for the sake of argument, the Earth in the heliocentric worldview that people want to defend with this nonsense of magnetised gas particles, if you were to imagine that the first gas particle came out of the ground, as all gas particles do, and then what it was faced with was, as per the rest of the heliocentric bullshit world of sky vacuums akin to Narnia, it was faced with a 10 to the minus 17 torr area of volume. What's the gas doing? Does it come out of the ground, head in an orientation, let's say it's not impeded by anything, there's no trees, and then when it gets to, I don't know, let's just say an arbitrary point, 1,000 metres in the air. At that point, does it say, you know what? I've decided I'm going to disobey the descriptive laws of nature that govern how I behave and just go back down again. I'm going to reach absolute zero, defying a different law of nature, and then increase my velocity in the opposing direction than when I travelled, having not collided with anything. And this line that I'm just going to arbitrarily change direction in, having traversed through absolute zero in terms of my state and temperature, I'll then go back to the ground from whence I came for absolutely no reason, in line with absolutely no law and violating several others. We'll call this arbitrary place, I don't know, we'll call it the Kármán line. Yeah. And then we'll say that when I reach this point, even though I dispersed up to it, away from the ground, that when I get here, suddenly I become magnetic. And then disobey natural law to go back down to the ground so that I can chill out with other gas particles doing the same thing. And I'll form this arbitrary line of lazy gas particles that don't want to go no further and have decided they will disobey natural law and just go back to the ground that they came from. No reason. They just will. They won't go into the area of volume that they were expanding into prior. No! Why would they want to follow laws of nature? We've got a heliocentric bent world to go back to. So they go back to the bent world. There's a satisfying line that we can call the Kármán line, and we're all breathing a high-pressure existing gas and describing our farts don't need containers. That's what we do. Perfectly acceptable, Neil.
Yeah, he's losing his mind. There's nothing you could do. Like I don't even want to talk about gas. I want his measurements for the globe.
I'll talk about gas all day long. Oh yeah, dear, that's excuse me, curry last night. Just get me a magnet. I'll sort that out. I'll get rid of this horrible smell. Just get me a magnet. I'll just hoover it all up into a puddle.
Nathan, gravity reduces kinetic energy. Don't you understand that?
Gravity is a description that requires a horizontal plane of reference. Okay, you say gravity, you say. Gravity is a downward bias. 9.8 meters per second in a vacuum. Okay? So gas go down, go boom, boom, does it? No, gas is created at ground level and goes up. So number one, these orientations require a flat Earth horizontal plane of reference to describe them perpendicular to. Down, you say? Sorry, don't you mean in? Like, as in towards the centre of a ball versus out towards space. Outer space, in towards the core. There is no up and down on a ball. You appreciate that, right? So when you say down, gas go down, right? Down, like it's got a magnet, yeah? Even though it doesn't do that, it comes out of the ground and goes up. But let's just accept, on faith, that gas go down, go boom, boom. Because obviously there's these huge sky factories that are producing gas and pouring it down upon us. Yeah. In this stupid Narnian world where we go through wardrobes and observe sky factories producing gas, pouring them out of buckets on top of us. Because that's how gas behaves, yeah. It's not like the reality that we actually experience where puddles, that's water in liquid form, turn into gas and then go up. Because obviously they're attracted to the frickin' magnets. When they form the clouds, they're actually going down. Go boom, boom, go splash, splash. With magnetic gravity defying downward vectors that have to have perpendicular, axiomatic, horizontal planes of reference to describe down with. So fine, this nonsense that gas that goes up from the ground is going down. I'll just accept it because you're a numpty religious believer in a ball earth that's made with flat earth measurements. So I'll accept it. Why not? Let's give you 3 concessions so we can carry on with this conversation. So now you're going to get on your knees and acknowledge the horizontal plane of reference you need down to be perpendicular to. You're going to do that. You're going to acknowledge that you need a flat earth for this. For us to carry on. I mean, I've already given you several concessions. I've ignored the flat earth that gets measured to create the ball earth. I've ignored the flat earth that gets measured to create orbital motion. I've ignored the violation of the second law of thermodynamics that you need to suggest that gas go down, go boom, boom, from the sky factories creating the gas, and ignoring the puddles and the evaporation cycle I was taught in high school. I'm ignoring all of that so that we can get to this down that you say the gases are following. So we're accepting a perpendicular plane of reference for this down then. You're accepting the flat earth that we'll measure, are you? Next. Is that it? Man, time flies when you're having fun. And by time, I
Yeah,
don't
he
mean the
seems-
bending conceptual space-time.
He seems to have gone silent because I told him, I said, listen, don't be a chat skank. You seem like you're an intellectual. Join the show. But it seems like now he's gone silent.
Well, you
since
just
I
need to
raised
answer my
his
question.
questions.
Is he accepting the horizontal plane of reference? And that horizontal preference, plane of reference that down can only, this is axiomatic, can only be described with respect to. If that is to be referenced to Earth, as in any value in this discussion, then Earth is that horizontal plane of reference. Unless you don't want it to have anything to Earth, in which case get lost, go away, you've got no measurements to reference to Earth. Oh, what's that? You do accept that we'll measure Earth as a horizontal plane of reference and that the gas, which goes up, is coming down perpendicular to the plane of reference that Earth is being used as. Oh, well, then we've got a flat Earth measurement, haven't we? Oh, you don't like that it's an Earth measurement? You don't want it anything to do with Earth anymore? It's not Earth that's the plane of reference perpendicular to it when you describe down for gravity that gas isn't doing. It's not Earth. OK, so you don't have any Earth measurements then? It's what we call the hard place. You don't want to accept your Earth measurements now they're flat? Well, then bugger off, you haven't got any Earth measurements. Oh, you do? You want to come running back and accept that they're Earth measurements that are flat? Oh, you don't like accepting them as flat Earth measurements that they are to be perpendicular to, for down, to make gas go down with respect to it. Yeah, there's a reason he's buggered off, Neil. Earth's measured flat for his example, isn't it?
Now he's answering other people in the chat. Thermodynamics.
Well, he just needs to answer me. Does he accept? He said gravity. I want to accept it. I want to be on his side. I want to pander to him. So I'm going to ignore that gas isn't coming out of the ground with puddles and evaporation. It's coming down. Go boom, boom, go splash, splash with magnetic gravity. So we're going to be measuring it with respect to the Earth down. This is the gas he's describing, contained on a magnetic Earth container with gravity. So we're accepting perpendicular down with respect to a plane of reference that's Earth then. He's talking to other people because he understands that he's at the point that his chat skanking shite has been addressed and been brought to the conclusion that we need a flat Earth to describe gas going down. No, gas doesn't go down. But if he's going to infer that it does, he's going to need to acknowledge a flat Earth to do so, isn't he, Neil?
Yes, so he says, so you are presuming measurements are flat and thus can only be flat, so no need to take measurements and verify them.
Oh, no worries.
No, we don't assume.
Oh, no worries. So you've chosen the hard place. So you don't want these to be measurements that are referenced to Earth then. You say they don't have to reference Earth. Oh, did the title of the show confuse you? Flat Earth debate, it's not anymore because it has to be flat when you measure perpendicular to a plane to say that gas go down. Suddenly it's not Earth measurements. Oh, bye-bye. So you don't have any Earth measurements then? Oh, well, then you have nothing. Oh, unless you want to come back and get on your frickin' knees and acknowledge the flat Earth measurements that you, not me, you require. So you can either acknowledge the perpendicular to a plane of reference you're down for gas to go would be, or like you've done, acknowledge you don't have any Earth measurements, not Earth measurements, you say, Neil. You're saying they're not flat, not perpendicular. Oh, you don't want these axioms. Oh, that's okay. You can just get rid of them. We don't have to hear them. No worries.
For sure, 45 degrees, 5,000 kilometers from north. But then he said coming back later, need other things to attend to. Yeah, run.
Run, you pathetic globe-believing numpty. You require Earth to be measured flat, and when we're asking, I assume your chat skanking's been prolonged until the point that you're actually getting it addressed by me on the live stream. And your chat skanking suggests that gas go down, go boom, boom. No, we dealt with it. It doesn't. You're an idiot. Meanwhile, to describe anything going down, you need a horizontal plane of reference perpendicular to that orientation. That's a flat Earth prerequisite. You're going to tell me that, what? Oh, well, it's not Earth then. Oh, well then, bye-bye, dickhead. Got other stuff to attend to other than the chat skanking about Earth that you were doing until you reach a point where Earth must be flat, and then suddenly what you were chat skunking about, that'll be gas going down. Doesn't have anything to do with Earth after all. Oh, well then obviously we totally understand you having to attend to other things, while we point out that down is an orientation with respect to a flat Earth.
So what is the elevation it should be according to flat Earth?
Sorry, elevation is a flat Earth prerequisite also. Height is also always described perpendicular to a plane of reference. And if you're describing it for Earth, it's your height above sea level, because you're perpendicular to it. Idiot. You're asking me about elevation that could only be ever described on a flat plane, how it would work on a flat plane. Elevation can only work on a flat plane, you complete idiot.
Yeah, he's asking what the distance is from the equator, 10,000 kilometers?
Well, the equator is a measurement of an elevation angle. He obviously doesn't understand what elevation angles produce in terms of equatorial values that are then bastardized into mile values, circumferential in nature. The radial value is a derivation, and that radial value can be called a radius, but it's not. It's a line along the ground after measuring Polaris. That's all it is. The line along the ground that you're utilising to create this equator is a flat Earth measurement of Polaris. So his question, which seems to want to take me to a place where we've already measured a flat Earth elevation angle to Polaris to derive an equator, to ask me about it, you need to be on your knees acknowledging the flat Earth elevation angle measurement to Polaris for you to infer the calculations, not measurements, of something you, not I, call the equator. Now, before we have any discussion about equators, you're going to need to drop to your knees and acknowledge the flat Earth elevation angle measurement that's measured with respect to the plane of Earth's surface. And when you do, we won't be having any discussion about what you think the after the fact, that's after the flat Earth measurement fact with angles, radial value's going to be doing or not doing. Yeah, that would require we all ignore the flat Earth that gets measured with angles to Polaris, wouldn't we? So, for me to answer your question, chat skank, I thought you had prior engagements, but clearly not. You got another question about something that isn't related to gas going down perpendicular to a flat Earth plane of reference. You got a new question about a flat Earth elevation angle derivation you call the equator. We're going to be on our knees acknowledging the flat Earth elevation angle before we move forward. By the way, when you do, we won't be moving forward. You can also choose the hard place and say no. Just because we measure elevation angles to Polaris to give us the equator doesn't mean Earth's flat. Doesn't mean we're measuring Earth. It only becomes Earth after we measure Earth flat and call it the equator, and then it becomes ball-shaped. Because then I can ignore the measurements of Earth that's flat and say it isn't.
Well, you're going to love this one, Nathan. You're going to love this one. For the sake of argument, I give you your flat Earth, not more. So use your model.
Oh, so for the sake of argument, you accept and understand like cats did, that for perspective, you'll have to give us a flat Earth. No, You don't need to give you anything. What that is, sir, is me taking a baseball bat metaphorically to your knees. When you say, I'll give you a flat Earth, no, you didn't give me jack. What I did was rubbed your nose in it. Now you're on your knees with your nose being rubbed in it. My heel is on the back of your head, shoving it into the flat Earth you require. Don't say, I'll give you a flat Earth. I don't want anything from you, stupid clown. What you got from me is your nose rubbed in the flat Earth you need. So you don't need to give me anything. I'm not suggesting gas go down. I'm not asking questions about the equator. You require Earth be flat for your stupid nonsense of equators, for your nonsensical gas go down, go boom boom, for your globe Earth religion. You need a flat Earth. You're not giving me anything, dickhead. I'm rubbing your nose in it. Well, that was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, he says, okay, I rub my nose in it and rub it back as it fails. No, it doesn't fail. These are Earth measurements.
No, that's fine, Neil. So it fails. I see. So your equator value measurement fails. Back to the hard place, it would seem. Yeah? Do you notice how I'm leading you with where you go? I gave you the option. You could go to the hard place. Yeah, now you're in the hard place with your teeth being smashed against it by me, metaphorically. Because you haven't got any frickin' measurements then, have you, dickhead? So what are you giving me again? Yeah, you will be on your knees giving me a flat Earth, will you, when you require it to be measured for your rhetoric? Or you'll disappear because you haven't got any measurements anymore. They're not actually flat Earth measurements. They fail for you. You're the one appealing to them, you pathetic dick. I don't need any measurements. But yours are all flat. So you can keep them. Or relinquish them and say they're not valid. I don't care. But you absolutely require a flat Earth. And when you start barking at me about how bleeding globe-shaped it is, you'll get a metaphorical baseball bat to your knees, and you'll crash into the ground, squealing, I'll give you a flat Earth! I'll give it you! I'll give you it! Oh, it's not measurements, it's not really measurements of Earth! Oh, so you haven't got any Earth measurements for your globe appeal then, dickhead? Oh, you have? You want to come back to these flat Earth prerequisites that you need to be perpendicular to? These flat Earth elevation angle measurements for your equator? Yeah, that'll be me bashing your knees in or bashing your teeth in. You don't have to like either. You could just bugger off and leave me alone. Nobody's asking you to appeal to me about how bleeding globe-shaped it is. You're here appealing to me. Now, me, I'll appeal to the VFX experts. My brain's starting to boil. I can't put the fan on, it's too hot. I'm then going to round out this live show because it is literally, like, I'm not making it up, far, far too hot. And if I put the fan on it, just until I get my dead cat, it keeps popping my mic. So I'm going to round out unless anybody's got anything to add, because I'm literally boiling my brain. I feel like I'm dehydrated and drunk. You know what I mean?
No, we're good.
I was hoping you'd do something while I fill in with turning lights on and stuff, though, Neil. But obviously not.
Finish his last thing says, so you can calculate the angle? Question. Or shouldn't it be something suddenly?
No, you don't calculate the angle. So a flat Earth elevation angle measurement is a measurement that's used to derive this equatorial value that he's appealing to in the first instance. So the minimum elevation angle measurement to Polaris can be calculated after measurement with a strange to describe now I think about it, but circumferential value. But the derivation of that circumferential value that shouldn't really be described in miles, in my humble opinion, is an after-the-fact derivation of an elevation angle that gives you a radial value, a straight line. Well, the radial value that's being derived with the minimum elevation angle measurement to Polaris, number one, isn't a calculation, as he's just said, it's a measurement. And that measurement must be straight, because it won't be a radius to infer sphericity with if it isn't a straight measurement along the ground. So they're bastardizing the straight line measurement to infer radius for a flat circle to make into a sphere. But you're violating the original principle of the base measurement. So with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow.
Who controls gas behavior with magnetism?
Magnets.
Yeah, they do it in a lab.
They do. They can. You can manipulate plasma with an electromagnetic field. You can manipulate plasma with
You
electromagnetic
can, you
field.
can manipulate gas with magnets. Have you never done that trick, right? What you do is find like a flat area, like really flat, and then lie on your back and grab the backs of your knees, and then let one rip, and then hold a magnet next to it.
I would have held him on that. I wouldn't even let that. I would have stayed on that. Just let it twat out.
Have you never seen what happens? It all like attracts to the magnet, like in Wile E. Coyote, like one of those horseshoe magnets. Like has these little zaggedy lines come out of it, and all the gas comes rushing towards the magnet. It's amazing. Have you never seen that?
Really? No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Called the Acme gas magnet. Have you never seen it?
Wile E. Coyote, super genius.
Yeah. Have you never seen the Acme gas magnet? I mean, this stuff is standard fare. It's just science, Neil.
Yeah, but he was talking about freaking space-time, and he's got no proof of anything, just asserting gravity. Another guy coming in and saying, well, you don't need it. You don't need containment. Look at the sun.
Yeah,
it's a gas giant in the solar system.
Yeah. He needs to, as soon as he starts making any claim, you just hold them to that. Just hold them exactly on that. And don't leave.
You don't need to prove heaven. Just look at all the stars. Those are all previous Aslans. Those are all lions. Just look at the stars, Neil.
I'd never seen this guy before. MXS Cackle, that's his name. I've never seen him in the chat.
They probably have, but just under a different name.
Someone sent me a message saying that they've done a bit of research into American government agencies that are allowed to ascribe 10 fake sock accounts for every one serviceman or something like that. I'll see if I can dig out the comment. I'll read it to you.
Somebody was going to say something in Discord?
I dropped in "No Need to Argue" lyrics in the pre-show just for you, Brian.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Nathan.
I just want to say I love the show, man. Thank you, Nathan, for going through that and pointing out the blatant irony that they're using effects or they're using CGI to debunk, even though that is their expertise.
Yeah, good choice of video. Very good. I like it when they're a bit of a surprise in terms of what's coming up.
Yeah, he pops up. They thank him. That's what I like behind everything that they're explaining. You know, because they're out of their expertise in the explanation. They thank Mick West for it, but it was important. He kind of got to his. They show the orthographic earthquake calculator on it, but you kind of made the point on it.
Yeah, I did talk about it, but if that had come up, that would have been ideal if I'd have put that in. But oh well, not to worry. I covered the majority of it. And it is people, they're VFX experts, and they completely relinquish their expertise in favour of Mick West's CGI model of a globe and what his suggestion of satellites and orbital motion are going to do. You're like, wow. So you'll buy this next level CGI just without even a second thought, like without a hint of irony. Amazing how people will give up literally their own expert field to defend heliocentrism as an explanation.
Well, what was the video about? What was it? Had it something to do with a UFO or an orb or something like that?
So they see some lights in the sky, and then they base the suggestion that it's satellites in the sky orbit based on Mick West's diagrams and models.
No, because Mick West is having a thing with this other guy. I can't remember this other guy's name right now. But Mick West and others having a thing with this guy who's claiming that these orbs that are some kind of government, US government type special weapon thing is responsible for taking MH370, the plane, the Malaysian Airlines plane, out of the air and making it disappear or bring it to another dimension.
They're saying
Yeah.
directed energy weapons brought down MH370.
But this guy is someone I tried to put you and QE onto, and QE wouldn't address him. This guy is talking the exact same nonsense as Witsit. It's like
Is that
they're
the
on
Mexican
same page. Sorry?
Oh, so it's like the Mexican ufologist, because he comes up later
No,
in
he's
that.
not Mexican. He's American. He's an American
Oh.
guy. Now, there could be a Mexican guy saying the same stuff. I don't know. But this guy is American. I can't remember his name. He's a nerdy looking guy with glasses. But Mick West and him have been having it out for a good while. And there's a video out there. This is ridiculous. A video that's supposedly taken from a satellite, from two different satellites, at two different angles, of these orbs surrounding the plane, this MH370 plane, and making it disappear. Like, just when you're talking, Nathan, about people believing complete and utter nonsense, this video couldn't be any more CGI. Like, it could, like, it's, if you saw it, it's pathetic. A 16-year-old could make it on a computer 20 years ago. Do you know what I mean? And they're all arguing over, is this video real and are these orbs real? And Mick West is having a thing with this guy, and other people having a thing with this guy. There's a big load of heliocentric UFO nonsense going on. But the long and the short of it is that Mick West is basically saying this guy is wrong. And this guy is saying that, no, the video is real, and this is real, and it's real US military nonsense. And it's just terrible. It's a load of argument going on in Globeland about whether something is CGI or not, basically. Whether it's aliens or CGI or special directed energy weapons. But this guy, he refers to, what's his name, with the ball guy, the heavy ball guy, who talks the same nonsense as Witsit. Ken, what's his name? Ken something?
Ken Wheeler.
Ken Wheeler, yeah. But if you hear this guy speaking, he's going into this general relativity, often incorrectly, but he's speaking about general relativity, and he's speaking about Easter, and he's speaking about all the other nonsense that goes with it. This guy, he's pumping out the Easter nonsense to this UFO crowd. So, I mean, I tried to put Kiwi onto it. He didn't mind. He said, I'm not interested in dealing with this. And I posted it in Master B and stuff a couple of times, but just nobody seems to be interested. But this guy will turn up on our radar. This is the start of it.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I can only react based on what I've just seen. And if there's if there are lights in the sky that people are alleging are UFOs, and then suddenly Mick West is getting involved, you're like, they wheeled out the biggest bullshitter there is. I mean, that to me is more telling than anything, the fact that Mick West's involved. You know what I mean?
But but it's not even lights in the sky. It's this video, right? And if you saw this video, it couldn't be any more CGI. But this guy is touting this video as real, and he's saying Lockheed Martin or whoever have these secret weapons. And it's like, people are trying to tell him that this video is false, and this guy, no, it's a real video, and he's going into all this nonsense about directed energy and, different dimensions, and it's like utter rubbish. But who's coming to save the day is Mick West. Another complete bullshit. You know what I mean? It's a fantasist and an idiot versus a complete bullshit. That's basically what's going on. This guy's a fantasist and an idiot, and Mick West is just a total bullshit. And they're having a duel online for it.
Well, it sounds like it's like in the pre-show we were talking about creating masking effects, like noise. If there's something that you don't want people to hear, then you need to create a load of noise to mask that. Well, that's what this is. There's something that, I don't know what the noise is being masked is, but that's what Mick West's being wheeled out to do, to mask whatever needs masking. Do you know what I mean? With noise.
What Mick West is doing, yes. So what Mick West is doing is he's stopping people to follow this guy down the yellow brick road to absolute nowhere. Because what happens is when they allow people to get, you know that thing you were saying about the guy who worked on Star Trek, where you can't alienate your audience. You know, where you can't bring them to a point where they lose
you're talking
fantasy.
You're talking about one of the Next Generation's directors, Stephen Burkoff, his name was. Alienation.
Yes. An alienation is where you bring people to a point where if you bring them any further than that, they lose their connection to the story because it becomes too unreal for them. And that's what the purpose of Mick West is. He's trying to stop this guy, bringing loads and loads and loads of people, right, down a yellow brick road to the point where they become alienated from the heliocentric story. Because it would become, I think people like him would make it become so unreal that people would suddenly just, it's like suddenly jolted out of the cult kind of thing, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah, if you want everyone to believe that they're in Narnia, right, then there's certain characters that you probably don't want to be introduced to the general public because it just reminds them that Narnia is not real. You know what I mean?
Yes. This is taking things too far.
Yeah, you can just about believe that a lion can talk, but the minute you have a flying squirrel that's called Nutkin that keeps running up people's trousers, you're like, what? That's alienation. It takes it that step too far where suddenly you're snapped out of the moment and, well, obviously lions can't talk. This is all nonsense. What the hell's going on? Where am I? I'm in a theatre. This is all stupid. And you get up and walk out of the theatre.
Exactly, and that's where we're at with this guy, because what he's going to do is bringing people down the road of crazy delusional baller heliocentrists, right, to the point where they'll just meet a brick wall and realize this is rubbish. What does NASA do? NASA keeps it nice and boring. What does SpaceX do and all these? They keep it nice and boring. They keep hope alive. There might be alien life out there, but it could be hundreds of light years away. Or we think we've encountered what could be a signal, but we're not sure. It's all this kind of like, it's going nowhere, but hope is kept alive stuff. Whereas this guy is actually giving people loads of hope and bringing them down the yellow brick road at like 400 miles an hour. Do you know what I mean? And Mick West and them are trying to get in his way.
Oh, I see. So by metaphor, what you're saying is they need to be kept at the beginning of the yellow brick road, because if somebody gets them along that path quickly, they'll quickly be pulling back the curtain and seeing the guy creating the effects, and suddenly it all loses effect. But if they can keep them on the yellow brick road, so you don't need some usher to point out how nonsense it is and get you to the guy with the big head. You don't need that. Just keep them on the brick road.
Exactly.
Well, don't you need both?
Say again, John?
I'm saying, don't you need both? You need people to perpetuate the concept of Narnia, and then you need those people that are faking it but are delusional, you know, like the ones that the others would be like, oh no, that guy's lying, right? So that the initial premise is never challenged.
Yes, that's true, John. 100%. But this guy appears to be a lone ranger, right? He's his own level of stupid. And he's rushing 400 miles an hour down the yellow brick road and bringing a trail of people with him. They need somebody, some other guy like the David Wilcoxes or one of these type of people. The David Oakes, or not the David, you know, the what's his name with the loud voice. The conspiracy theorist guy.
Tony, Simon, Fred, Ian, Bob,
no,
Nigel.
But
Tony.
I see what
anyway,
Brian. I see what you're saying, but those guys are necessary too, because when they get to the end of the yellow brick road and they say, "Oh, we pull back the curtain and it's just a dude," everyone laughs at him, you know.
Vincent.
And then that guy has served his purpose, because he didn't actually show him who was behind the curtain. He showed him behind a different curtain.
Yeah, but this is different. And my feeling on it is that this is different. My feeling on it is that this guy is off on his own crusade, and they're trying to corral him because he's going to bring people down a road of complete nonsense that will be shown to be total nonsense, and it's not under their control how he's doing it. That's the feeling I'm getting off of it. Whereas there's other people who bring people down that road down that road of nonsense, like the David Wilcox and these other conspiracy types out there. But this guy appears to be, what's his name? Ashton Forbes, I think is his name. He appears to be like, he's out there on his own, boy. He's doing it. He's leading people. Like, he's going to bring everyone right to the curtain. They'll pull it back and they'll see the wisdom. Do you know what I mean? And that they don't want them seeing any wisdom. They don't want that happening. Like, they want you standing right at the edge of this dusty yellow brick road, and they're the people removing all the brush and all the branches and all the things out of the way, so it helps you to walk down it. But they have a hard time removing all these branches and stuff. So everyone's at the start of this yellow brick road waiting to go down it, but they never get to go down it because NASA are there trying to, there's too many branches and too much brush. There's a tree in the way, there's all this stuff in the way, like there's briars. So they're doing all doing the hard work there. And when that's done, they'll bring it down the yellow brick road. But that'll never be done. Whereas this guy is going, like, he has a strimmer and he's just taking all that rubbish out of the way and saying, come with me to fantasy land. And that's why Mick West is trying to stop him. I'm not saying what you said is wrong. It is correct and they do that. But I think it's just my opinion is this guy is out on his own.
But we walked that yellow brick road as well. Like, we went through the piece of nonsense. We had QE to guide us, though, and knowledge that he reminded us that we'd already been taught it. We'd just forgotten, Like, are you saying that guy's taking the same path we took, or is it a different path?
Because of the wonderful things he does.
No, this guy is promoting the same rubbish as the same ether rubbish as witches, exactly the same, with the exception of he's a heliocentrist.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
what you're saying is,
Brian?
So hold on, let me unpack what Brian's saying. Because he's got the same rhetoric as some other seemingly mainstream heliocentric nutter, they're both shills from the same company. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know, but something tells me that him and Witches will eventually be having a live stream together.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now, Brian. Yes.
I mean, if you're saying they're shills from the same company, I'll believe you, Brian, if that's what you're saying.
I can't say that, but they're definitely promoting the same lies. Now, this guy seems like an utter believer. That's the thing about it. But Witch is bullshitting, right? This guy, he appears to believe it. And that's the problem.
And I just think he's a better bullshitter than Witsit.
I don't know. Maybe he is. But the fact that Mick West is going against him so hard, and there is others, but Mick West is the person they're putting out there as the figurehead. I get the feeling that this guy is about to take the train off the tracks because he is a believer. But they need a bullshitter. They need a witch, someone who just bullshit people. Now, this fella talks a lot of rubbish, but he appears to believe it. I could be wrong.
So what you're saying is, if he actually believes it, then when he's shown to be wrong, it looks a lot worse.
Well, yeah, because he thinks, I get the feeling he thinks that some of this is real, as opposed to Wixit, who knows is rubbish. And it's just pumping it out there just to, get subscribers and get past in the back.
Well, speaking of Mick West, I'll be remiss if I didn't ask, because his Earth curve calculator came up just seconds when we stopped the video. I don't know if you could, just for the stream, just pull up. It's like these 10 seconds. He shows his Mick West's Earth curve calculator. Just respond to that so I can clip it out.
Yeah, no worries. It's
exactly It's
I did
exactly
actually
6
check.
minutes and 20 seconds.
I did go and check. I went and extracted a thumbnail and saw that literally 3 seconds after I paused the video, he's on screen. Mick West, that is, with his Earth curve calculator.
Yeah, I would hate to miss that part for your response because you put in that things I didn't even notice in the first watch around. So,
in the satellite's orientation.
but
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
There's so many people convinced they're seeing UFOs from all the satellites that are caching light. They had to build this tool to effectively disprove everything. And you can see a great illustration here of like the satellite catching the light, reflecting it into the pilot's eye. Boom, flare, and then it's gone.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, baby, that's debunked for sure.
There you go.
see that angle coming from the how
orthographic
they're
view. That orthographic view
From
angle.
them angles.
It's in an orthographic view. It's in the perspective. You couldn't see it on screen because obviously I'm not broadcasting this at the moment, but he's describing it from the perspective hijacking curve calculator's perspective. That is to say, with no perspective.
Hello, guys. Just want to say hi. I won't interrupt.
Good to know.
What's happening, Guns?
Actually, I have a song. Can I sing a song?
You can do whatever you like.
No, you can't. But here's what's going to happen now. Hold on, Brian. I got it, Brian. I got it.
I'm going to come there and visit you.
Here's what's going to happen now. You come in just at the time we're talking about Wizard.
His opening he wants.
What? 1 second, guys. Can I sing one little song about Wizard of Oz?
Will it get me a copyright strike?
No, he will.
No. Okay, yeah, don't worry about it. Okay. Really good show, by the way. Great show.
Brilliant. Glad you liked it.
You pick suspicious times to come in, boy.
You say Go on, Neil. What were you saying?
I'm just saying, we're talking about Wizard.
I was
We're
enjoying the
talking about
show.
these silly guys, and this is when you come in. It's kind of strange.
Well, I'm a
Neil,
strange
don't
guy.
address him. I thought you were going to say something. Don't address him. Don't address him. That's what he wants.
What he wants.
He's going to spend the next hour and a half talking waffle to stop any conversation here happening.
Yeah, but he's been on Nathan's show. He's been here for 10 years. I mean, we can't treat him like that. He hasn't.
Yeah, we can. We can do what we want.
He hasn't demonstrated anything.
Hey, Brian, I used to really admire you. I used to admire you. 10 years I followed your channel, and you call me a shill and all this, and I'm a liar. You make me sick, man. Totally.
We used to be lovers, Brian. I said I loved you. We did things. We went places.
Wait a second. Who
10 years of my life. We've got 3 children together, Brian.
Wink, wink. Wink, wink.
Wait. I didn't. Are you talking about me?
You guys know I'm joking.
No, me.
Look at our poor son, Neil. Look how he's feeling. Look what you're doing to him, Brian.
Oh.
I'm trying to say I don't have a channel. How can you be following me for 10 years?
Me, Neil. He's talking about me.
I was talking to Brian.
He's talking about
Neil.
Brian? Oh, no. You
Brian.
cannot talk
I've been
about
following
Brian's
channel ever since he started.
You cannot talk about Brian in front of me like that. Don't you know who I am?
I like you, Neil. You're a great guy. You're a great sidekick. Great. Awesome.
But he's disgusted with me, Neil. 10 years of you, and this is what I get. This is terrible.
Hey, Brian, no, Brian, I'm not disgusted. I'm just joking around. Seriously. Whether you like me or not, or you think I'm a bullshitter, I still like your channel. It's cool.
Brian, I'm disappointed that you should treat your followers in such a manner.
He just said the word serious, Craig. There's nothing serious comes out of his mouth at any point ever.
I was just fascinated by the FX. You guys are talking about the FX and all that, and the UFOs and all that. That's sort of up, not my alley, but my you know who down in Hollywood. But we won't get into that.
Hey, Guns, were you taking part of that guy that was in chat? Have you ever seen that guy, MX Cackle, before?
Never. He's obviously that's a sock account, obviously, and I would call him a shill. Just by the conversation he was having, because trolls aren't they're not articulate like that, if you know what I mean. Like these guys, these shills, it's like they have what do you call it, a script or something, or
Right, he was
but
just trying to
he
get
seemed
his
to be
rhetoric out.
Please
yeah,
define
but
what a shill
just
is and how is
gibberish.
this guy
He was
shilling?
just going on and on about yeah. It's like he was like
Guns,
reading off Wikipedia or something, you know, just
guns,
BS.
define what a shill is. Define what a shill is and what was that guy shilling for?
5 pence.
Okay,
Oh, that's shilling. Sorry.
I think you guys are seasoned, seasoned enough. Pardon my I don't have my teeth in. You guys are experienced enough to recognize a shill, as far as I can see. But you think I was one, but just because my personality, just the way I come out, but I'm not. But I know you guys have pretty well nailed it. Every shill that you've mentioned, you've pretty well nailed it right on.
I don't know, it sounds a bit chilly. But yeah, that guy just wanted to get his
Well,
rhetoric
for
out.
instance, if the guy switches, yeah, if a big channel switches to the globe, that's a no-brainer, right?
The good thing about shills is since we've gone to Earth is measured flat, which is quite specific, we lose a lot of the fantasy. So now we can just consider whether they're shills or not. It's our little grasp on fantasy.
Yeah, correct. That's what I was telling that guy, because he thought he was some sort of intellectual. So I said, "This, you know, you don't need to be an intellectual here. We're just demonstrating to you that, we're talking about measurements here. You don't have to be an intellectual to comprehend that."
Good point, Neil. Hey, Nathan, did you actually name a channel? I mean, a show, Shills of the Navarone? Is that true?
No. I mean, I might have done. I mean, if it is, it's a great title. If I haven't, I will.
We could call this one Shills of the Navarone too.
Yeah, Divergent Droids, he typed that in the chat today. But it would be Shills of Navarone, not the, of the. It's the Shills of Navarone.
Or we could call it Guns of Navarone is a shill. We could call it that.
Yeah, Nathan adds words, takes away
Oh,
words.
I love you, Brian. You're so funny. I love you.
How many copies of the book are you buying? That's the question.
5 copies for my mother. No, I'm going to buy 2 or 3 for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking about it the other day. There's definitely 3 so far that they are going to be getting a copy of this book.
I made a joke the other day that the lodge probably could use a couple. That could be their new Bible. Just kidding, of course.
Speaking of the Bible, I was watching that movie, The Book of Eli. That was a good flick, man.
That's very good.
And I did not freaking pick up that he was blind. When I watch it again, a second and third time you see it, you start to pick little things up. But man, that was a great flick.
Yeah, great. It was great.
Gary Oldman.
What's up?
It's the best bad guy out there.
He was freaking excellent in that. The first time I seen him was that movie with Sean Penn with the Irish mob. State of Grace.
Yes.
Yeah. He was a nut job in that.
My favorite role he was in Leon as the corrupt police guy. He was brilliant in that.
Who, Gary Oldman?
Yes.
Yeah. He's
Bring me
really
Someone
everyone.
on the resident, I think, is he?
Bring me everyone.
Oh.
Who? Everyone!
Yeah, that was it. Who's everyone? Everyone.
In True Romance.
He was good in True Romance too.
My cousin worked on True Romance.
your cousin, your cousin's in everything. So you're gonna have to start producing something.
If I gave you his name, you'd just be, your jaw would drop of how much work he's done. Like he started way back in 71, and he just retired. So he's done a lot of things, and anyway.
There's chocolate today. I haven't seen him in a couple of days.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Who's that?
Hello.
I have a question about the book regarding libraries. Does anyone know how the donation process goes to the libraries so it gets into circulation? There will be a physical copy, correct?
Yeah, that's a bloody good question. Somebody brought that up a while back, and I should have made a note of it then. I don't know how that would happen, but I will look into it. But yes, thank you very much for asking, because that makes my brain start ticking.
You get people
Yeah,
across
I've kind of done some
put requests in to their local library for a copy of the book.
So you just make requests to your local library, and then they're going to have to provide it if enough people request it. Is that what you're saying, Adam?
Yeah, the only reason libraries get books is because people want to read them. If they don't know that you want the book, it's not going to be instantly on any reading list. But if you can generate that reading list, then you can make requests.
That's a good idea. Everybody could do that.
They probably put it under science fiction, though. That's the only problem.
Why would they put it under science fiction?
They'll put it under conspiracy.
But why?
Just take we know it's true, but they, the world in general, like, the man, the system looks at it as science fiction, as a conspiracy, like Brian said.
As far as I can gather, you could slot it under celestial navigation, for example.
I don't know. Can we do that?
No, you can't do that.
It's not. Yeah, that's a part of the book.
The book is not teaching someone how to navigate around the world. They're just going into some of the process. That wouldn't be correct, no.
Why can't it go under geography?
I'm not too concerned how it gets categorized. Who cares?
Well, you don't want to categorize as science fiction or conspiracy. Come on, that's a shot already against us.
Yeah. How about history?
Well,
history, geography.
I reckon conspiracy is the only way it can be, because there's so many elements in a book about this topic. There's geometry, there is history, there is science.
Have any of you lot been to a freaking library?
Well, of course we have.
You go to the section marked non-fiction.
Perfect.
Well, are any Eric Dubay's books in the library at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bangkok Library.
Have you looked?
The Bangkok Library.
There's a song, Night in Bangkok.
We're all singing it in our head.
By the way, when is the next book installment, Adam?
Don't know, it's up to QE.
Might not be this week. It's not around too much, so we'll see.
Coming together really well, though. Sorry, bye.
Go on to get that step on me.
Yes, it
No,
was
I'm
nice
just
to
saying.
hear. I was driving earlier, Neil, and I heard Nathan using a rock and a hard place. Very nice.
Yeah, there was some guy in chat.
It's funny though, isn't it? How it becomes pertinent, and then the next show you get the opportunity to use it. That's what I thought was funny.
What Adam's saying is because we literally were editing a section that was talking about being between a rock and a hard place 2 days ago. It now seems weird that it's being talked about on the show. I say no. It's like if you go and buy a BMW 5 Series, and when you pick it up, you're like, I never see any of these on the road. It's really unique. It's like brand new shape and that. And then within 5 yards of pulling off the forecourt, someone else drives by in the dual carriageway you're about to pull onto in a BMW 5 Series in the same colour as yours.
It happens all the time.
No, that isn't necessarily. I'm demeaning what Adam's saying. It is, strictly speaking, a more egregious example being made on the show because we edited it only days earlier. So I will agree with you, Adam. It is, it's fresh in my mind because we're editing it in the book as we speak. Or, you know what I mean? Not as we speak, but you know what I mean.
Well, that's what I thought just as I was like, bloody hell. There you go. Perfect. I'm glad we refined that. And how it came perfect, didn't it? It was good.
Well, it always was what it was. They always were. It's just it's never been like, well, how do we put this into a way that it can be read off a page without any verbal additions to make it clear what's happening? Well, once you've done it that way, it does make the verbal occurrence a lot more slick. You know what I mean? So one helps the other. Being more concise in book terms means you're more concise when you're actually saying it to your fundy opponent.
Nathan, are you going to have just one distributor of the book?
For now, the guy who originally helped me or suggested that I even write a book will be honoured, at least in the initial stages, with being the person that is allowed to publish it, and he'll get exclusive rights initially. But what I'll negotiate with him upon advisement from Adam is a number. That is to say, at this point, once it's sold this many, I'll, either renegotiate my contract with him, if there is a contract to be had, or, continue, whatever. But yeah, initially I've got a guide, and once that comes good, or maybe I won't sell the number of copies that, maybe I won't reach that limit, in which case nothing's to be done.
But it's better to cater for all those eventualities in the contract so that there's no squabble later. Any eventuality, nail it down, define an outcome. And that's a great one, a limited before. But whether you're able to go elsewhere, or whether or not your percentage increases once he's covered his distribution initial sale costs, that's a reasonable part of the negotiation.
Indeed.
What you want is a nice standard upfront fee that authors get.
I'm not going to be
Remember we were talking about. Sorry.
I mean, I'm not going to ask for anything like that. I mean, the book exists because the people around me care about me, and when I've moaned that I'm not earning enough money, they've gone, well, let me help you write a book so you can have something to supplement your income. I know somebody who can publish it. So from that, obviously, I've had lots and lots of people assist me, including yourself mainly, Adam, with all your stenography, right? That in itself is a different product, as you keep pointing out to me. But it doesn't alter that initially it only exists as a product directly as a result of 10th Man and the publisher. So at least initially, while I will go to them and go, okay, well, obviously I'm grateful that you've done this, but by the same token, it is now something very, very different. And I only, going to be seeming a bit of a dick if I protect my interest? I don't think so.
Respectfully, it doesn't matter whether people think you're a dick or not. You're setting up contract, and sometimes you have to be a bit of a dick. Doesn't mean you have to stand by every bit of dickery, but when you go into the negotiations, you just got to be open and honest. And we're starting a game. And as you say, you've got a much better sellable product. Yeah? Something that you think will appeal to a much wider audience now, instead of it being appealing to your audience specifically, talking about, you've now got a reference book. Yeah? A book that will appeal to anybody, a much wider audience, so it's a much more valuable product. It's a reasonable place to start from again, and I don't think anything's owed in the past. That's a separate set of events. You just move forwards with the better quality product that you've got now and negotiate based on that knowledge. No one's trying to rip anybody off, are they? They're just trying to get the best situation. And like I said, it's good to see you thinking about it. What's the limit where this? Because he's going to warrant a higher percentage early on. Because, like I say, covering costs is, Like, I think it's a good place to start. But before we go to him, we should sit down and figure out what it is exactly, so you're not negotiating on the fly.
Exactly. I'd like to work out what my percentage is going to be, considering the stuff in the book that's connected to me. So we'll have to work that out, Nathan. Maybe an 8%. 0.3959.
Go on protecting your interest.
Fair enough.
No, why is not?
This book will not age.
Right.
Actually, right, I think it's especially egregious, right? Brian was the initial person that suggested that I've got ghostwriters as a joke. That got ran with by Ranty. Now he's demanding a percentage. When it came to the bit that actually would have benefited from Brian being there, he was very vacant, very distant, almost obstructive, but yet he's demanding a bleeding percentage. What an outrage.
No, you were doing it at times when it wasn't suitable for me. That's all it was. You didn't need me. You had Adam. Why would you need me to do maths when Adam is there? And QE.
No, we need you for that specific moment.
Well, fortunately, again, the publicist has come up with a great model in terms of getting everybody to make money off it if they want to. It just involves them having to have an affiliate link and somebody buy the book through the link that they have. So you, Brian, are in a much more privileged position than most in that regard because you've got videos. So if you wanted to, you can put a link to the video, and then if it sells through your link, you'll get the same as I do. We both get 30% then.
Can I link it to every video I have, mate?
Yes.
Like as in,
yeah,
that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's what I said
it?
when he explained
Really
that to
good.
me. I was like, yeah, that's a really good idea, because then anybody who feels like, well, I put in like you've just done, literally, I can say you can have the same amount that I have then. How's that? You're like, oh, yeah, beautiful. Well, just put the link below your video, and then when someone clicks on it and buys my book, you'll get the exact same amount I do, 30%.
That's excellent. I didn't know you could just link it to a video. That's very good.
Yeah, you just have to give your bank details to Chuck. So you give your bank details
Brian
to
gets
Chuck.
so many trolls in his chat, you'll probably sell some books to the trolls.
Well, yeah, if you were a troll and you wanted to interview me, and then I'm like, well, you can still have my affiliate link. In other words, if the book sells and your link is what they clicked on, you'd get the 30% too.
Yeah, Brian gets like 300, 400, 500 trolls in his chat. some of them are going to buy the book because they want something to troll.
Yeah. If they happen to buy it by clicking Brian's link, then Brian gets a cut, providing he's given Chuck his... He wouldn't have a link otherwise, but obviously having given Chuck his bank details so that he can get paid upon someone ordering it.
Well, the one thing about my channel is there is a lot of flat earthers that go there that don't comment, and people that will go there that don't comment because, like, they can't comment unless you're used to the trolls. If you're just someone with breathing in and out of the arena, these people won't comment because of the trolls. They just attack them straight away.
Yeah,
you're not jumping over a fence to get into somewhere where there's 20 Alsatians. You're not going to, 20 German Shepherds. You're not going to have that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people who will come there, but they don't actually comment. So that would work for them.
Jolly good.
So how many people you got that are going to be hooked into this affiliate link thing? Anybody yet?
Well, nobody yet, because I've got nothing to offer them yet, Neil. Once I've actually got it to offer, at the moment it's just that's what will happen when it starts happening. When the book's available, and I can go to them, whatever affiliate link you want to use, here's the ebook affiliate link for you personally, and here's the, Amazon link, however it works, whatever links are available, each one will be specific to that person. So it'll be Brian's affiliate link. So for me, I'll get my wife to set up an affiliate program or something so that under my videos, I can have 30% that's mine, plus the 30% for being the affiliate that sells it. Do you understand? So I'll get 60% if I sell it from my video via my wife's affiliate link.
Nice.
Well, that's how it was explained to me. But for Brian, he just wants anybody that buys the book via the video to give him cash. Now, let's say there's an ebook and it costs half the price of a paperback. Well, so long as he's set up an account with Chuck, then he'll get paid the second somebody orders it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you're going to have Brian, you're going to have QE. I believe Fisherman in a Box is going to be involved in it too. So you got 3 right there. Sure, there'll be a few others.
Sure, Flatside would be interested as well. Flatside.
Yeah, Flatside. Listen, anybody that has a channel should be interested if you're going to get 30%.
Conspiracy,
sure. Once it comes out and somebody hears what you mean, all I've got to do is put a link under my video, I can have 30% of the book's value. Yes, that's correct. That person will want to get in touch with me to get Chuck's information. And I'd imagine
David Weiss will definitely be involved then.
There'll be half a dozen people at least immediately that will be like, I'll have your link. How do I get it? I want it. Yes, please.
You'll be surprised the amount of support you're going to get, Nathan, when people can make money out of it.
Exactly. My appeal will be to other people. Now, although it wouldn't be the case now, but the Robbie Davidsons, the Patricia Steers and the Jeronisms, I'd be out saying, promote my book, put my affiliate link below your video.
Well, Mark Starrington will do it just out of because he's so friends with you and whatever. So he'll do it like he'd do it without being an affiliate. He'd promote the book, but
he'll check with the lodge first. I think. Is that all right by you?
Yeah, but he would do it. He would do it. But David Weiss, he's learned now that there's money to be made.
Dave Weiss loves money, doesn't he?
That's where you've got to swallow your pride. Yeah.
I've already said this, absolutely. Oh, yeah, I've said this already. I didn't put it as swallowing pride. I said I'm very fickle. Same thing.
Oh, yeah.
No, David Weiss will have to swallow his pride if he wants to make money.
Well, he does.
Absolutely.
Nathan's right, though. I think there will be plenty of Masons buying my book.
Wink, wink. 33 of them, right?
33 degrees. 33% profit.
They'll know from the Latin inscription and the introduction that they're allowed and authorized by their lodge to do so. We'll ensure we've got Masonic coding in the book.
Rampy, will look to be an affiliate. Ranty would absolutely look to be an affiliate, and so will other ballers. Because if there's money to be made, suddenly people want to become friends. That's what I mean. When it comes to cold hard cash, suddenly people aren't too interested in whether the book is what they believe in or agree with or anything. They're willing to promote it, I guarantee it.
That would be great if other channels had the book, and then they'd be opening the book and reading chapters while they're on, like, streaming or something, and get the word out there that way too.
Yeah, stream a chapter and talk about it. That's not a bad idea. If I want to play, I might do it myself, but I want that. It's easy for me.
That's it. I'm starting a channel.
I was just going to say that to you a few minutes ago. You need to start a channel with a load of rubbish videos on it. Just pump out any old rubbish. 4-minute videos about nothing. Flooring, anything.
I agree. Just work on the Brian's logic model. Just pump out any old garbage. You'll be fine.
Brian, I literally just said that to my wife. I'll start out with a video of my turtles.
At least if you did that, Neil, you wouldn't get shadow banned. Just make sure there's no flat earth content in any of your videos. Then you might get a subscriber list. Then you can pimp to them your flat earth stuff after that. But if you start out as a flat earth channel, you doomed to failure.
Yeah, you can just say your friend Nathan, that the book from your friend Nathan on the topic is linked. You can say that in the video.
Yeah. If he just puts out loads of shit videos about those turtles, put a story, call one of them Dave, and Dave's having a bad day. Keep putting videos out, they'll have tens of thousands of views per day. Yeah. There's ones now like about these stray dogs called King Charles that my kids go on about. You're like, what are you watching? There's 1.5 million views. Tell you, Neil, do that.
You ain't kidding, Adam. I know.
Yeah, anything to do with animals and happy videos concerning animals. They just like there's no greater money maker on YouTube than cat videos.
And Brian, think of the story behind it. I rescued these turtles from being freaking road rash. What do they call that? Roadkill. I rescued them, and now I give them a home. And now I have a bigger home I could take them to. I'll do little videos there, little video here. Before you know it, I'll be selling flat earth debate books.
Yeah, and mixing the mafia element. It's your Sicilian American from Brooklyn, and if you're living in Alabama, and you could even mix in a bit of mafia nonsense and both were movies as fun within your videos of Dave and Terry or whatever the other turtles.
You and Nathan the turtle are on the run from the mafia.
On the run because the mafia wants to make them turtle soup.
Yeah. Somebody wants some really nice shoes made out of the turtles.
Yeah, but Neil, you could have, if I were you, I'd dress up for each video. I dress up real mob-like, or Italian, like a jumper with a gold chain and a tracksuit ends.
Sergio Tacchini jumpsuit, right?
yeah, dress up like that. Really get false gold chain, you know what I mean? So I just dress up the power. Like the chain.
Skirt wide open with the freaking rope chain and what do you call it, the initial emblem.
And the big sovereigns, the big rings. And the sunglasses that are half shaded, those kind of mob hitman sunglasses? The ones that are like sunglasses, but they're half sunglasses, half normal? Yeah, those ones. That's what you need.
I do have my father had this ring made, a lion head. It's huge. I mean, solid gold. And it's got the 2 ruby eyes and a diamond in the mouth. Like, I think my brother got it, but I could use it. He'll let me use it, put it on and do a video. Yeah, that'll sell.
I have a baseball bat close by. just in the shot, a baseball bat, somewhere leaning against the house or something. Really hammered up for the laugh for the audience. They love it. But it's all about Dave's turtle and Terry or whoever the other turtle is.
Yeah, and I could turn it into tortellini.
Yeah, tortellini. Yeah, that could be the name of the show. Neil Tortellini.
Just so you know, right, as fun as this is, right, when we were kids growing up, Brian and I specifically were about the same age, right? The number one thing that kids wanted to be when we were kids, Brian, was astronaut. Kids wanted to be astronauts.
No, I didn't want to be an astronaut.
It was the number one kids thing to be when we were growing up. When they did straw polls of kids, it'd be number one on the list. Even if it was made up by the media propaganda, they used to say the number one thing that kids want to be is an astronaut. But it's obviously pointed out subsequently that that's very difficult to attain. Not very many people get to go to space. You're very unlikely to become an astronaut. But work hard and you can work in Tesco. Something like that. Right? Well, now, number one job that kids want to be. Number one thing that they want to do. Do you know?
YouTuber.
Correct.
Uber driver.
Scuba driver?
Yeah, I wanted to be a coal miner. But...
Uber driver.
Yeah.
Space cowboy.
Just point out for the audience, the man suggesting that the number one thing people want to be used to drive a taxi.
Listen, I watched this freaking movie last night called Dangerous Animals. That was a crazy, sick movie, but I would recommend it to anybody to watch. Takes place in Australia.
When I was a kid, a young child, I wanted to be California Highway Patrol because my favourite show was
Chips.
Yeah, John and Poncherella. Or Larry.
You wanted to be on a show where nobody got killed, huh?
Yeah. Well, you're just driving around the highways just on your bike, just being awesome. Yeah, all the time.
that was the theme in the 80s, right? All these things. What about the A-Team? Nobody ever died. All these massive explosions. Nobody ever got killed.
Well, they didn't acknowledge anybody got killed in the A-Team. But on the other hand of that coin, or the other side of that coin, is you're watching a car that's just been shot at with a 50 cal 50 times, and as it explodes in the air, 4 bad guys are thrown from the car through the air, and you see them flying through the air as the car explodes. And then it cuts back to, I love it when a plan comes together, or something like that, right? But in reality, now just picture that as a real scenario. So you watch a car that is flying through the air on fire as people are ejected from it. Do those people live?
Well, depends. If you're talking about me, yeah.
Depends. How many times have you seen a car fly through the air and then someone coming out of one of the windows or general holes that cars don't have to live? When have you ever seen that happen?
Me twice, but there's no fire.
Hang on, can we go back to an aeroplane that crashed the other week and a man walked out?
Yeah, why do you just not believe that guy survived?
You know what I think he should do? He should do an advert for New Biological Biz. I can't believe how white it is either.
Is that really a conspiracy that this guy was not even on the plane?
Oh, we know it happened back in the 80s in the movies, so there you go.
They literally got the guy's name, they got his ticket, they got the seat he was sitting in. So
was he passenger 57?
Yeah, he was passenger 57.
He wasn't passenger
His
57.
shot was immaculate.
He wasn't passenger. He was Bruce Willis from Unbreakable. Let's not be silly.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, he didn't actually have a single dirt mark on his shirt. He was clean. And I thought that was a bit strange myself. The only survivor.
No, Bruce Willis has got a whole wardrobe. It makes no. Let's just get that squared away. He's got a wardrobe department to sort him out. Bruce Willis is just a character. I don't remember. It's not even called Bruce Willis in it.
Yeah, that was an amazing white shirt, though. You noticed there, Nathan, because I thought the same thing.
No,
was he really on that plane?
That's nothing unreasonable. He's sponsored by Daz, so it turns out.
I'm looking at the video right now. The guy's got dirt all over the back of his shirt. He's got blood on his shirt, and people are following him. He is not squeaky clean. I don't know what video you guys are watching.
The AI edited version.
That's fair enough, Neil. I think that legitimizes it.
Wardrobe.
Was there any rips in his shirt or just mud and blood?
He didn't even have any shoes. He was like mushing his feet into the carpet at the time.
Yeah, but the Indians don't wear shoes anyway, do they?
Do you remember? Some German guy was like, shoot out the glass.
Oh, yeah, so they had to walk on the glass. Oh, yeah. Anyway, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a coal miner.
I still threaten our kids with that. We'll send you down the coal mine.
Got to walk to pit in the morning, 10 miles to pit. So remember the Hovis advert? Or is that a bit too long ago for you?
It's also the opening scene of Minecraft, the movie. He's like, ever since I was a child, I wanted to work down the pit in the mines, but they turned me away.
You're too old. Too tall.
No? Nobody seen Minecraft movie? Fair enough.
Yep, and then he like gets old and he's now Jack Black, I mean.
I really enjoyed the Minecraft movie. I thought it was great.
I like the Lego movie.
I like the Lego movie too. That was good too. Everything is awesome.
Amos. Sorry?
Everything is awesome.
Riveting conversation.
Are we going to do the book?
I hate doing the damn book.
Yeah, but can we do the book anyway?
No. Okay. Leave.
You got nothing on, have you? You got nothing better to do, have you?
Yeah, I'll be out of here in a little bit.
Can we do the book for a little bit?
Hang on, Nathan. Yeah. Did you just join to be a pain in the neck and then tell us you're leaving?
Yeah.
I mean, ruined a bit of conversation that was happening with a big downer. Like,
and riveting that it was.
And then I'm out of here. Just come in to ruin it.
Yeah, so there's a drive-by.
If you want to consider there's like levels, QE, there's like the mainstream, which is like what BBC say, and then there's the alternative mainstream, and that's like Joe Rogan. And then there's the alternative, which is like Witsit and various other YouTube videographers. And what's been put to us in the last part of this show, if you will, is that some of the rhetoric that Witsit's currently spitting is the same rhetoric, like it's come from Reuters or something, like it's been distributed amongst the shills to spew.
Really? What's he been doing?
Yeah, remember that video I sent you of a guy, you called him a kook? I told you this guy is pumping out the same rubbish as Witsit, but he's a baller. Now, this guy has Mick West on his heels over the things. He's having a thing with Mick West over this UFO thing or whatever. And but this guy is talking about the same thing, ether, all the nonsense connected to ether, all the magnetism, electricity nonsense, bringing in general relativity, you name it. He's word for word basically with it, except for he's saying it's a globe. That's the only difference, really.
What's ether?
I have no idea.
Does he know?
It's the free energy, man. It's in the sky. The free energy from the sky. It's just around the corner. It's on the horizon. Free energy.
What do you mean by free energy? Are you saying it's free as in cash flow free, or are you saying it's just out there?
I'm talking zero down, 0% paid now, none to pay later.
You have nobody to pay a bill to. That's what they mean by free energy.
What about wind and solar?
Just tap into it.
What about wind and solar? That's free, isn't it?
No, there's huge outlays that you have to spend on materials and properties.
I'm talking about the energy itself, not capturing it.
I mean, nothing's free like free energy is free, and that's just around the corner.
Yeah, you don't need a windy day, QE. It's only around the corner. You're going against progress.
Imagine.
Yeah, you're stopping the ether, QE.
Imagine, your sockets that you've got in the States, right? You've got your two prongs and you plug it into the wall and your mixer turns on and you press the on button and you're mixing bread. Imagine just taking that socket, just plugging it into the frickin' air. Sound good?
Yeah,
that's ether.
Exactly.
No, it's like an outlet. Socket. It's like one of those 6-prong like a socket. You plug it back into itself.
No, like when Richard said, fire. Like, I want to plug something in, I got to go start a fire. Give me power.
I told you that mouth breather would respawn at some point.
Well, he has them himself.
I said it's a little quicker than I thought, but it's not surprising.
Specifically him, he hasn't. But his rhetoric is turning up at that.
I mean,
on the globe side.
I really could work as the marketing department for this. Are you tired of making fires to charge your iPhone? Well, fear not. Free electricity is just around the corner. With ether power, the electricity is in the air. This stuff sells itself.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you could carry around a little box with some wood in it and a fire lighter. And there's a plug socket on it.
We went over this before, right? Remember when that stuff was a couple years ago? I said that Mary said fire is electricity or some dumb shit.
Yeah.
And I said, well, when the power goes out, well, I got no worries because I just start a fire right outside my bedroom window and I won't miss Monday Night Football anymore. I just plug it right into the fire.
That's what I just said.
Goofball.
Yeah, that's what we're referring to.
Yeah.
Referring to you, QE.
You're so old-fashioned with your fire window. We've moved on from that.
Well, just think, your cell phone will never die if it's connected to the ether.
We should just be more
Not
grateful.
if you have a mobile fire pod, would you?
We just should be grateful that we don't have to do that anymore. Like these, what do they call them? Boomers with their fire windows to, charge their typewriters.
So what's the point? I mean, where are we going with this? So there's a guy out there parroting old Witsit nonsense and so?
Therefore shill. On a script, obviously.
Well, the funny thing is that this is based off of a video that Nathan, or connected to a video that Nathan responded to or reviewed, today. The funny thing is that there is a guy out there called Ashton Forbes, the guy who was in the video I sent you, QE, some while back. And this guy is trying to promote that there's this government technology that uses orbs that use general relativity and God knows what other rubbish. And these things are responsible for making the Malaysian Flight MH370 disappear. Because there's some rubbish video that he thinks was taken by satellites. Satellites do video now, supposedly. And
from two different angles that shows the supposedly MH370 and these orbs going around it, and it suddenly disappeared. Now, the thing is that this guy is out there promoting a load of nonsense, trying to say that they're hiding free energy and they're hiding this special technology, and the US government are doing this, that, and the other thing. And who he has gone up against him is Mick West. And the reason we were talking about it is because Nathan referred to Mick West as making noise. You know, when you're trying to drown out someone else's voice, you make a load of noise so no one hears them. Well, Mick West has an issue with this guy. So this guy, Ashton Forbes and Mick West are going at it for the past while, right, online. And your man Ashton Forbes is the guy promoting all the Witsit nonsense. But Mick West, when we were speaking about it, it appears is trying to stop this guy from bringing people to the point where they see behind the curtain. Because what does Mick West and those he would be affiliated with, like the NASAs of the world, what do? They want to keep you in a boring place where everything is a possibility, but they never actually prove anything. Like, it's always like there might be alien life, but it could be 500 light years away or whatever, right? It's always like keeping hope alive thing. Whereas this guy appears to be just some crazy believer who's going 500 miles an hour down that yellow brick road and bringing loads of people with him. He has this big following. And more people are joining his following. And Mick West is trying to stop this juggernaut of nonsense before it ends up crashing into the wizard. That's what it seems like to me. Because this guy is going to bring people to a point, whether he knows it or not, where they lose, where they literally they lose connection with heliocentrism. Because he'll bring them to a point that's so ridiculous and show that it doesn't happen and it's not real, that people will be completely, I reckon people will be completely turned away from heliocentrism at that point. And Mick West is trying to stop this guy. That's kind of what's going on, as you asked.
That's amazing. And what does this have to do with me?
Nothing. Just letting you know what's going on. Bloody rude.
Yeah. Yeah. What's it got to do with me? You asked about it, I told you. No. And it's got to do with you. You were actually directly involved. Because you're connected to us. You went after Witsit with the Ether and all that. This guy's promoting the same stuff, right? So at some point, it's coming back to your doorstep.
Yeah, it's going to be Mick West is going to be your partner.
I still fail to see where it connects to me.
Well, we're going against Ether, and so is Mick West. So eventually, there's going to be a partnership.
Well, I don't know if Mick West is going against that, but he's going against other rubbish. I don't know what Ether is. Nobody knows what it is. But people promote it out there.
And they show it?
I highly doubt it.
Can you show me an atom?
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Oh, I was just in Wixers getting some roofing felt.
Hey, there he is.
Ether is all the friends we make along the way.
Well, you believe in electrons, and I never seen an electron.
Adam, where are you talking from?
I'm in the car. I've just had to nip to. I've been gone. I've been to Home Depot. I needed some roofing felt.
Was Jaron there?
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask.
In there, trying to measure curvature on the floor. It's taking flat Earth elevation angles to the light, and the rate at which they were altering their angle due to perspective, it was going to apply to the surface.
Did he use site reduction tables?
He's not got to that yet. It's not even accounted for dip or Home Depot refraction.
Hey, remember Jose? Didn't he work in a Home Depot? And wasn't he showing how there was no curvature on the floor of the Home Depot? Remember Jose's videos? J.G. Gonzalez.
Was that in Home Depot?
I'm pretty sure it was. It was a big hardware place. I think it was Home Depot, or one very similar.
Yeah, I seem to remember something like that. I just didn't remember that it was a Home Depot. That's pretty funny.
I think it was. It was somewhere very similar, wasn't it? Because it was a big area. You know what I mean? With a big floor to it.
Was either Home Depot or Lowe's.
Yeah, I don't think it was like a grocery store. If I remember correctly, because the floor
Macy's.
didn't have. It was what?
Macy's. Anyway, they all love him now. He's worshipped, adored, and revered by all globe believers now. Is J.G. Gonzalez, as is Ranty and Jaron. They're all loved, I tell you.
Yeah, that's why they never stop talking about them, is it?
Yeah, everybody loves Jaron now. And Ranty and Jose.
He's still going.
All three of them are loved. They're on a golden throne of flat Earth skulls.
Oh, like the new 28 Years Later movie. I see.
Danny Boyle.
Yeah, I watched that. I can't wait. I think in January they're coming out with the second one. That's
Third
when
one.
Cillian Murphy will be back.
Third.
No, second one.
No, there's 28 days, 28
No.
months, and
You're
now
not
there'll be
missing what
28
I'm
years.
saying. No. The second one to this 3-part series, 28 Years Later, it's in 3 parts.
Oh, okay. What is it, a Netflix show rather than a movie?
No, it's out in the theaters, but I got something. I got a guy that gets me in.
So it's 28 years later, part 2.
Correct. But in this 28 Years Later, it's a trilogy. And the second part of 28 Years Later is coming out in January.
Ah, I see. Now I
And the
understand.
third one, I think, is called Temple of the Bone.
Bone.
Yeah, they're super sorry, freaking infected.
Bone.
Because somehow
Is that
steroids
a
got
porn
mixed in
movie?
with them.
Bones?
Bone?
Yeah, bone. Not boner, bone.
Bones.
Bones?
That's an oldie. I might have to go back and listen to that. I don't know where it is though.
That movie Schweitzer.
Yeah. And your boy. What the heck was his name? Miles the Liar Davis.
There you go.
I'm gonna search that one out maybe this weekend. And I'll listen to it over again.
There's certain people in this arena. There's very few of them on the globe side that I can really say that I have. Oh, I don't particularly like. Right, most of them I just tolerate. Right, and some of them even like Ruin. But Miles Davis is just a dishonest, very dishonest man. Very dishonest man. He is
He's
just
retarded.
Yeah, he's not somebody who it's just. He's smarter than the average baller, and he has. What is he?
No,
he has.
No, he's not.
He's smarter than your average idiot.
No.
Well, he's a little bit more educated then. Maybe I'm smart. Maybe it's the wrong word. Maybe I'll say the wrong word.
Defender of retards, man. Oh, he's just disingenuous. No,
I
he's
used the wrong word. He's more educated, I should have said.
Really? How do you? Let's see his credentials. I want to see this shit.
Well, he's a biochemist.
He's no biochemist. Fuck no.
Did you know
he
met
claimed to
Anthony?
be? I claimed he was.
He seemed. How does somebody seem to be a biochemist?
Said he claimed.
But he didn't claim that.
He did. He did claim that.
No, he didn't. No.
He did. He claimed it. I witnessed it.
He said he was a biologist.
Oh, sorry, biologist. Sorry, biologist.
Yeah,
Doesn't
biochemist.
matter.
Yeah, there's a big fucking difference.
Yeah, there is an education, Howard, but doesn't matter what claim he was making. And my point is that he's more educated than the average boy. Okay.
Prove it.
God.
Prove it.
But yeah, prove it.
I can't do that.
It's just an appeal to authority.
So, what I'm intrigued in is his connection to Mary Schweitzer. And when we refer to bone, just for the audience's benefit, there was alleged to be fossil evidence that had still got unpetrified bone and flesh attached to it. Something like that. I can't remember the exact details. Bone? Anyway.
It's fossilized soft tissue.
That was it. Fossilized soft tissue. Why is he... Because Mary Schweitzer's like a higher up in that regard, isn't she?
You think?
Absolutely. She's very... Would renowned be the correct terminology for a person?
I guess he would be renowned in that subject area, yeah.
Right, so why is Miles Davis associated with her? Fill me in on that blank that I didn't know existed.
Well, he had to dip his toe into fossilized soft tissue because, that's what they do. They're friggin' amateur night morons that don't know dick. So, but since he was a so-called biologist, he had to defend the Evotard's honor.
But does that not seem a little bit shilly? You've got this dude that's out there taking his photographs with 5 different cameras and then coming back with his photo from his phone, and then that same person's out on the circuit defending the honour of Evotards with Mary Schweitzer. That sounds very shilly.
Yeah, and ironically, I think it was a Jose J.G. Retard show that they were just having a discussion, and
Brian Leakey.
Yeah, Brains a Leakin was in there, and he was defending. Of course, they don't know mostly don't know what they're talking about, but they'll dive in, head first into the drained cement pond. Doesn't matter whether you're a flat or friggin' idiot baltard. You have to put your hat in the ring and just talk out your ass. So I took them all to the woodshed.
Okay, cool.
Bones?
Bone.
So the second movie is called The Bone Temple, and that's coming out
What
in
the hell are
January.
you talking? Shut the hell up about your
Well, I'm
stupid
just letting him
movies.
know because it's about the bone.
Bones.
The
We got
Bone
it.
Temple.
Jesus.
It's a good flick. They're super sized, thick
Who
in the second.
cares? Who cares? Who cares? We're talking about Miles the Liar Davis, Jose J.G. Retard. There's a couple other boneheads. Oh, Sly was in there. Sly Sparkane. Remember that train wreck a long time ago where he came in and he said he was doing an experiment?
Yeah, I remember him.
That was a bad move.
Was he not
reappeared right after the final experiment nonsense. He reappeared.
Was he not measuring flat Earth elevation angles? Sly Sparkane, that is.
I have no idea. That's an old name. He's another old retard of the ages. They're all retarded. Every single last baller. Every one of them, they're retards. It's amateur night. Delusional Dunning-Kruger retards. Every single last one of them. I'm not talking about your everyday Joe baller, out there. I'm talking about the ones on the circuit. They're delusional Dunning-Kruger retards, every single one of them. They're so fucking stupid. I mean, it's laughable. It's like, I kind of feel sorry for them in a way.
Which one of them formulated if mass, then mass attracts mass?
Hillbilly blue balls, redneck retard.
Yeah, that was still live. You know that, right?
Yes. I got that. It's on an empty clip.
That was beautiful. Did you walk him to that point, or did he come out swinging with that?
No, he got walked to that point.
Oh.
Well done. That's the most humiliating thing I've ever heard someone claim in my life.
He wasn't the first. That wasn't the first time it happened.
Sorry, some bonehead baller called me. He had the wrong number. What did you say?
He said that Hillbilly wasn't the first one to do that.
No, that used to happen on a regular basis.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't the first one to do that. It just got popularized by him, I guess, by me. No, he's definitely not the first one. Hillbilly Blue Balls wasn't here, in the old days. They were saying that shit back in when I first came on here.
If you want to ascribe it to someone else, it would be obviously it's QE, but a thing. The thing that you describe it to is the pink writing. So the reason that's become formulated in that manner by ballers is by QE saying, hold on a second, this is an experiment. What's your independent variable? Then we get to if mass, and the rest is history.
And then they change it like 5 or 6 times because it sounded so friggin' stupid. Then they would scratch it. I'd have to erase it. Okay, let's start over.
No,
Wait, didn't they nickname you independent variable, John?
It would start that way, as in, be kind to Dumb Animal Week, as you used to call it. Man, it's all coming back to me. But after a time, no, we would no, you've already decided what your independent variable is. We've written it down. That's why we write it down, so you can't now change it.
Yeah.
And they were fun times, weren't they? We were still, in fairness, ignorant of the flat Earth that's always measured always. But
no, we weren't. We were not.
Nobody was talking about it like it is now, though.
That's because nobody was bloody listening.
Oh, okay. Well, we were all looking for curvature.
Brian wasn't.
No,
he stopped 2 weeks before us.
Still are.
Most of them still are. That's the game. That's what we've been talking about this week. Mostly, we've been talking about. Let's just get the adenoidal voice. This week, we have mostly been talking about how the game is rigged to talk about the lack of Earth curvature as flat earthers. I got sent a video by Ian Leahy today, and his opener in his video that's alleged to be the history of flat Earth fireside talks, or whatever he calls them, was to start off by talking about what we're moaning about, but as a genuine position to be taking. Like, you come to flat Earth and go, how far's Earth curve supposed to be? That's how he's depicting it. Like, wow, this is representative of everything I hate about flat Earth and flat Earthers.
That was sort of random.
Well, the only reason I bring it up is one of the first shows that I listened to of Nathan's after I watched that Ball Busters. I come over and y'all was doing the pink writing with, I can't remember who he was. But he ended up asserting that if mass attracts mass. And that he was proud of himself. Like he had done something. I was so humiliated for him,
Was it Fitty?
It could have been.
He has a couple names. Unorthodox?
Could have been unorthodox.
Might have been it might have been unorthodox. Yes.
Yeah. He goes by B50 or Fitty. I call him Fitty. He was the original after the Black Swan came out. It's a few weeks after it came out. He came in to Nathan's show and he goes, well, yeah, you guys are guilty of a Black Swan fallacy.
That's right.
Retards. It just unabashed. Yeah, you're guilty of the Black Swan fallacy. Now, Eddie, what's the Black Swan fallacy? Poor dumb bastard didn't know that he was guilty of it.
Right. He was trying to turn it into your positive claim about something so that he could say you were asserting all swans were white kind of deal. I remember that.
Oh, he didn't even know that. He didn't know that. He just figured since it was a black swan, it had to be a fallacy. You're giving him too much credit.
Wasn't he the same one that was with the fallacy? That was Fiddy too.
No, that's McToon.
No, that was Timmy Clown.
Timmy Clown, yes.
I remember Timmy. This was hilarious. I wonder if Nathan still has it. Not Fiddy, but Timmy Clown came in. This was many years ago, back in the olden days. He came in and we were talking about second law of thermodynamics and how space is how there is no vacuum of space. And he goes, so define that we said it's a void. Somebody said it was a void, right? He said define that. And I said, space between your ears.
I remember the one where you had his girlfriend on. You're like, put your girl on.
Put your girlfriend on. What's his name again?
That's exactly what you said, I think. Oh shoot, that was funny.
Timmy, he's such a clown, man. Way back in the day. We were on Gem Panda show. It was me and Cathexis, and everyone's sitting there talking, and Coriolis effect came up, and I decided because I already taught Cathexis, Coriolis effect, and I was going step by step, trying to explain the Coriolis effect to Gem Panda. It's like talking to like a baby about trig. You know the routine, right? And I was sitting there. This is what the Coriolis effect is, and then I explained it, and then I gave an example, a number of examples. I said, "This is what this is," and he's there. Are you telling me that? And Cathexis was adding little bits and parts to it, but mainly it was me. Are you telling me you two guys know more than physicists? And I said, yeah. He lost his shit.
Yeah, he did a big appeal to the authority type of guy.
Yeah.
There's always some obscure physicists or scientists that have all the great knowledge, all our knowledge that we don't know anything about, always. But they can never produce these people. You know what I mean? It's always some secret person who's some super brain somewhere who has all the information that they can produce any evidence for.
Unless you've got 6.5 million subscribers, and then it's Mick West.
Yeah. Who they'll throw under the bus in a heartbeat, just like Neil deGrasse Tyson and the rest of them.
So he isn't a Baltard anymore, or he's not defending the Baltard Mick. He's him and Katz is out there in the UFO land. Is that what I'm getting?
I don't know about Katz, but he's out there arguing with this guy about secret technology and God knows what.
Is this
conspiracy
Metabunk
cats?
Still,
sorry,
is Metabunk still going?
Yeah, that's how it's still going as normal. It's just that he's not. He does well. Look, Mick West is not stupid. Right. When the Black Swan came out, Mick West is.
Oh yes, he is. Oh yeah. Oh yes, he is.
He's not so stupid. Hang on. He's not so stupid that he hung around after the Black Swan.
Prove it.
Right.
Why don't you just default to educated already and then move on?
Well, the point I'm making is that he was smart enough to know to leave the arena when the Black Swan came out.
I don't know.
So he's not as thick. He's not as thick as you might want him to be. See, this is the problem. This is another reverse Hanlon's razor fallacy. You're pre-assuming they're stupid.
I'm not pre-assuming. I'm not pre-assuming.
They're demonstrating it.
Demonstrated stupid.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Yeah, but you're pre-assuming they're as stupid as you think they are.
No, they're dumber than I think they are.
I'm not saying Mick West is.
The bar is so low for how little respect Huey has for him already, and he's saying it's even worse than that. You imagine how like you're talking about bag of hammers dumb now.
Was it a hammer they dropped on the moon? Or was it they dropped?
A feather.
Was it a feather?
I thought they dropped a hammer and a feather at the same time or something. Or am I thinking of
That's in a
something else?
vacuum. That's in a vacuum chamber. What were you saying then?
I thought they dropped stuff on the moon's surface.
I think they did. I can't remember what they dropped.
I mean, by that I mean
Hammer. It was a
on
mallet
set.
or something, like a lump hammer or something like that.
Yeah,
like a mallet or
They
something.
didn't, obviously, because they weren't there. But
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't. They were on a set, and there is no travel through a sky vacuum. But in the stage performance called the moon landing, didn't they drop hammers and feathers together at the same time, or something along those lines?
I don't know if.
well, no, you're thinking about Brian Cox and.
No, I'm not.
You're presuming.
Sandusky, Ohio.
You're presuming he's thinking about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only example I have of it. My God, I'm getting some hard time today. That's the only example I have of that happening. So I don't know.
Anything's possible in Imagination Land, and from my memory of Imagination Land, they were dropping hammers. You know, they went onto their utility belts on their spacesuits, dug out a feather from their pocket, and dropped them at the same time.
During the Apollo 15 mission in 1971, astronaut David Scott dropped a geological hammer and a feather simultaneously to demonstrate that in a vacuum, all objects fall at the same rate, regardless of their mass.
VR. What's mass?
I don't know. Let me ask him.
It's a purely mathematical construct that has no relation to reality.
It also says, okay, inspired by Galileo's theory, proved that the absence of air resistance on the moon allows objects of different weights to accelerate equally.
Yeah, that would be a relative density issue.
Yeah, if you're describing a proportionality and you get to a certain number, you're going to expect that the proportionality is going to break down to where you're not going to be able to measure a difference. Like dropping it in a vacuum chamber doesn't prove anything about mass attracting mass.
Listen, these are the magic
Exactly.
tricks that was pulled on the masses.
There's such little density of air in a vacuum chamber that you would be expecting things to fall at the same rate because any differential would be so small, you know. But all that would be basically immeasurable. But all that matters is that when the object is more dense than the medium, it doesn't have to be 20 million times more dense, just more dense or less dense. By any amount, it either goes down or goes up. Depends on the density of the medium. It's that simple. So that's the argument.
Well, that's
See,
all they needed. That's all they needed to trick the masses, Brian.
See, this is the thing, right? Like, they want to make the claim that objects are going down in a vacuum due to some nonsense force of gravity, right? That's out of date in their own paradigm. But then they want to try and hijack buoyancy and say that's why things are going up. No, buoyancy has nothing got to do with this force that had nothing to do with Newton that he denounced having anything to do with him. And it was 1900 years prior to him anyway, right? This buoyancy is relative density. Relative density is buoyancy. What they call specific gravity is buoyancy. It's all buoyancy. It's all Archimedes' principle, right? And that's all that matters. When there is enough density, right, to the medium in relation to the object, it'll rise. When there isn't enough, it'll go down. When there is equal, it'll sit stationary. Just like a balloon, half filled with air and half filled with helium, will sit between the floor and the ceiling in your house. Right? Because it's even, right? There was no differential. You know, it couldn't be more obvious what it is.
But if mass attracts, if there's mass, then that mass is attracting mass, man.
I should read some of the asinine assertions that guy was making today. I took screenshots of all of them.
Well, I'll tell you what, that guy yesterday, the hillbilly dude, that like giving bad names to hillbillies, because I'm
Sorry about that.
hillbilly.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. He was giving a bad name to hillbillies. He just was.
Do you like how my apology is strictly speaking more racist than the original event? Like that?
It's not really racist.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah, I got one for you. Ah, shoot, I lost it. Sorry, my bad.
It is bigoted, however, the whole redneck retard thing. Yeah, that's kind of bigoted, but it's not racist.
Okay, gravity currently is space-time curvature based on mass. It shapes how geodesics run and impacts what you consider straight when in free fall. So no extra movement induced by anything else. So what's space-time?
So when two concepts get together, they affect things how?
Listen, gas fills space only, remember the key word there, only, when there is no force or phenomena causing directional bias.
So how do we experience gas filling space on Earth simultaneously to gas filling space on Earth?
Well, he says, I'll say it differently. It fills, but it's restricted in its movement. I don't know that gases were restricted in their movement. Not when you do that bromine demonstration.
So gas both fills space and doesn't fill space.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. It's restricted, so it stops at a certain point, I guess.
He ain't from the South, is he? Ask him if he's hillbilly.
I can't. I'm just reading from the chat earlier today. He was going crazy with gas pressure. Huey isn't qualified to talk science. Oh, it's the same guy from yesterday. He isn't a scientist of any sorts.
Well, what the hell does that even mean? You're not allowed to talk about cause and effect relationships because you don't ascribe to a philosophical naturalism? Is that what he means?
Okay, can any particle or gas in any kind of field or space-time curvature or whatever you need to work against move indefinitely?
A particle will move in a given direction until acted upon by another particle or the walls of a container.
So he's asking if it can move indefinitely.
What's he asking, Neil?
Can any particle or gas in any kind of field or space-time curvature or whatever you need to work against move indefinitely?
What kind of horse manure is he on about? It's not possible to answer anything there because he's invoking things that have no proof in reality. How are you supposed to work with that? What kind of sideways question is that? Is he asking, do gas molecules move indefinitely? Yes. The reason they do that is because they're. The reason they do that is because the third law of thermodynamics.
Yeah, but he's going to go. Yeah, but they're all going to the pole because there's less and less as you go higher and higher, and they think they just come to an end. They stop moving.
No, he's stupid.
And then there's the vacuum.
No, that's just stupid. That is.
Of course, it's stupid.
That's someone who doesn't understand the third law of thermodynamics. Because he's denying. What he's actually doing is he's denying natural law in several ways. But he's denying natural. He thinks that they'll run out of energy. That's not how it works. He doesn't understand how the creation of energy works in the first place.
Can he demonstrate space-time stopping gas from expanding into an available volume for us real quick?
No. See, he wants to believe that for some reason, gas runs out of energy and doesn't expand into the available volume, not realizing that in that available volume is energy. Do you know what I mean? The guy is so like.
Hold on,
it's so stupid. Because unless he's claiming a vacuum with no matter and no energy, then
hold on.
The gases would never stop.
Hold on. If there is a space available, is gas not going to fill it?
Absolutely, because there's always energy available. The gases always have kinetic energy.
So then
they don't lose energy.
Closed.
They're creating energy, literally.
Case freaking closed. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas would fill the space. That's it. I don't want to hear any other your nonsense. You got a space that gas is not filling. That is a direct contradiction of a law, right? A natural law.
Yes, but he's trying to put it into the paradigm that space-time has already proven and shown to keep gas from filling space, and we got to show it not filling, or just saying we have to show that it does fill space in his heliocentric paradigm. I think it's what he's wanting us to do.
Yeah, but we do. We show it all the time, our gas fills space.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be showing it not happening.
Right.
And he's asking us questions that invoking things that no one has proven the existence of. It's like, why would we answer a question that evokes things that nobody has proven the existence of? And nor can they, because it's in a paradigm that can't exist. The whole lot is like, he needs to be brought directly back to the laws of thermodynamics and entropy. Now that's destroyed because what he's on about there was complete and utter rubbish.
Oh, he's an intellectual. He got degrees. He said, yeah, I graduated. I have degrees.
Who's got degrees?
This guy, MKS Cackle. I never seen him before, but he was defying
Oh, I thought he was in
behavior.
chat. I thought he was in chat.
Yeah, earlier today, but I took screenshots of the things he was saying.
Yeah, repeat that to QE. I don't think he got the. I don't think he was at the computer.
No, I just sat down. What's up?
Repeat it, Neil. That was hilarious. Like it was so many fallacies and like it was a train wreck, and it's hard to describe it. Just say it again, Neil.
Okay, he says that can any particle or gas in any kind of field or space-time curvature or whatever you need to work against.
Stop. Field. What field? What's a field? Space-time curvature, it's a reification fallacy. He's a fucking idiot. Right there.
Yeah,
so the question's malformed right off the bat.
Yeah, I guess he's trying to say whatever you want to put it in. Can it move indefinitely?
Whatever I want to put what in?
Yes. In other words, can it move indefinitely?
Can it move indefinitely?
If you put it in something, you're going to, by putting it in that thing, you have given it a volume that keeps it from moving indefinitely.
What? He's just a retard. Just dismiss it. Not worth.
Then he says gas fills space only when there is no force or phenomena causing directional bias.
He's a fucking moron. He's in violation of laws of thermodynamics, gas laws. He's a fucking idiot. Where did he graduate from? Tuco Community College in Tobago.
Okay, let's say it fills it, but it's restricted in its movement.
Mail order degree section. He's a fucking retard. Drop him.
Oh, but he was in, you know what's interesting? He was in your chat yesterday.
Who? Same guy?
Same guy, because this is the one where it said, John QE isn't qualified to talk science. He isn't scientist of any sort. And then right underneath is this MKS cackle.
How does he know I'm not a scientist?
I don't know.
Well, we got to find that out first. I forgot more about natural science yesterday than that glue sniffer will ever know.
So this guy MK Skackle was in your. I got to go to your show yesterday and go through the chat because I'd never seen him before till today, and now I'm looking at the screenshot I took, and he's right under there, right under the guy
that's amazing. What an amazing story.
Can I entertain myself, please? I always got to ruin it.
I'll tell you what, whatever you want to put it in has got me dumbfounded with the stupidity that takes.
Yep, another retard. All right, what else before I got to go?
No, he was just boasting about his degrees he got. I'll ask him tomorrow where he got them from.
We know where he got them from. Tuco.
Oh, who was that guy here recently that you looked up where he got his degree from? It was basically Tuco Community College or whatever. Like, oh God, I can't remember his name.
Brian, you spent some time in Australia, right? Where is he? Still here? He left. This freaking movie I watched last night, Refracted, you got to get it. It's called Dangerous Animals. And this psycho bastard Australian freaking guy survived the shark attack when he was 7 years old. So I guess he demented him. But he takes these people out on his boat and he gives them the shark experience. He puts them in a cage and they go in with the shark, right? But when he pulls them back up, he kills them and throws them overboard and keeps the girl, right? And then he makes videos of sharks eating these girls. Cuts their hair, puts their feather in, and
Okay,
it's like a
time for me
freaking
to
psycho
go.
movie.
All right. Anything else? Nathan, Adam, John, Brian, anything? I'm out of here.
See you later.
Yeah.
Never asked me.
Say again?
You never asked me if I want anything else.
You okay, Craig?
Yeah.
Darren, is that you, Darren?
Jared.
Never
I'm
thought
supposed
of
to
it.
be Jared.
Say that again, Nathan.
I didn't say anything.
All right.
I asked if there was ball busters
What?
Saturday.
Oh, you asked. That's a good question. Possibly.
I'll try be there for you.
Later, gentlemen.
See you later.
Peace.
I'm going to round out as well. So on that note, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley and I will see you all in the next video.